All right, I think I'm live. Welcome to the stream. What's up, South to West? ATF, Corn Dog, it's all a psyop. True. It's all a psyop by people who own old, dilapidated houses who want to up the resale value through ghosts. What's up, Dave Channel? Somebody say fired up. JC, Ulrich Bismarck, Disclosure Day. Mac and Cheese, what's up? It's me, Izzy, Anand, Bob Brown. Man, what an all-star assembly we got here today. Welcome to the stream, officially. What's up, Ronald? We're gonna watch Sightings today. It looks like they're got some pretty good episodes based on what I can see from the titles. I think this is where we left off. I'm pretty sure, but I thought we saw Chopping Mall at the beginning of another, but maybe they just showed it frequently at night or something. I can't be sure. But we're going to watch Sightings this morning. Then this afternoon, I'm going to come back. We're going to watch Intoxicated Women Causing Disturbances. The gas station here did not have White Claws, so I got a grape vodka infused drink to sell in honor of our favorite alcoholic, Methadone. And then I also got a I don't know, it's like a premium malt beverage. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway. I'll have a few things to drink during the Intoxicated Women stream, and that's at regular ticket prices. I'm not one of the streamers that sets a dono goal to drink a beverage that I already own. But in any case, let's get started. What's up, Virginia? This is let's see, season 4, episode 7 of classic 1990s supernatural paranormal show Sightings. And it's in mono, unfortunately. I apologize.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
What's up, Realm Chat? You guys get your power bill yet for July? Like, holy shit.
To Sightings. I'm Tim White.
Holler if you hear me, and then no sound from the crowd. Didn't you hear me?
According to legend, Halloween is the one night of the year when the dead are allowed to come out to play. To keep the evil spirits away from the living, we're supposed to wear scary masks and costumes and place a grinning jack-o'-lantern on the doorstep. These are the traditional talismans of Halloween. But in one small town in the Pacific Northwest, it's going to take more than a carved pumpkin to keep away the ghosts who ride an old steam train called the Spirit of Oregon.
Honestly, Dave, that's not too... I mean, I don't know what it's like in your area, but a lot of people around here in the Midwest, like, I'm hearing people having, like, people that don't even have, like, we're not talking about big farmhouses or anything, but just like apartments or regular, like, you know, single family houses are like $400 or $500. We don't even have, like, I don't even think we have a data center anywhere near here. I think it's just arbitrarily raising the prices.
For passengers, a ride through Oregon's coastal mountains.
What does Jim Cornette think about the Sally House? I don't know. I can't even do it today. Hold on, let me compose myself. There you go.
On this great old train is a trip through history where the rails have a story to tell. But one chapter in the story is disturbing. The story of a great train wreck and its victims.
Mild summer.
Seem to have come aboard the Spirit of Oregon, perhaps.
Oh, that's just your electricity. Oh, shit, man. Wow.
She is one of the very last of a dying breed.
The Spirit of Oregon is very much alive.
5 years ago.
The Spirit of Oregon. Do we know anybody in Oregon? Billy Jack Haynes?
This was the Spirit of Oregon. A great...
Wait, don't we know somebody? Cody Turbo is in Oregon. Who else is in Oregon? No, Distinction, I think, is in the Bay Area, right? Near Ava.
Smoking piece of Americana rusting on the scrap heap. Vicky Steele took this picture before the restoration began.
My husband has refurbished rail cars for the last 12 years. And one day he decided that we should have our own dinner train, so He built it, and now it's here.
All aboard!
Distinction.
The Spirit of Oregon carries its passengers along a scenic 50-mile route, then stops just short of an old bridge before returning home. And some people have come to believe that it is this route that has caused apparitions to appear in the coaches and on this photograph.
We were showing the before pictures that we took of the train, and one of the gentlemen said, "Hey, you've got a ghost in your picture," and we kind of scuffed at it because all you could see was a blue haze.
But from its maiden voyage on, there were also
Vicky Steele.
personal encounters with strange forces that seemed to be targeting the train.
Oh,
staff
true,
people.
Virginia. Some places do have that. The only thing I've heard, and I don't know if this is universal, but I've heard that if you do that, sometimes, like, if you kind of get the better of them, they hit you with, like, a balloon payment you have to make at the end of the year. I don't know if that's universally true or not, though. But I have seen that where, like, it'll, like, less month-to-month, like, fluctuation, I guess.
There was a bartender on the train that would have glasses blow up in his hand, or, you know, dishes will fly off, or chairs will get jerked out from underneath you.
We had a lot of really strange things happen. Beating on the
Man,
walls.
Vicky Doctor. Mamma mia. Look at this train trad.
On our offices when there's
Oh,
nobody
look at her little, she'd fit right in reflection with this outfit she's got on.
out here. And we'll see people walking through the trains when we know the train's locked up and it has a security system on it.
Oh, you did have that happen to you, Izzy? That's interesting. You'll bully this dumb ghost photo all day.
When you catch something in the corner of your eye, you always look back. When I looked back, it was like somebody had taken ice water and shot it.
I do believe that Sightings changes the names because some of the names are just outlandish.
Through from my head to my toes. It was just a real cold, cold feeling.
And some people have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, despite the train's smooth ride and hospitable interior.
I can honestly say that that's probably the...
Oh, look at this guy, Michael Palmer. He's like, listen, you could trust just any spirit contact, but wouldn't you rather have an experienced spirit Look at this guy. He looks like Paul Bearer.
Depressed I have ever been in my life.
Look at his eyes when he
Michael
said he
and
got
Sharon-
pressed.
The most depressed I have ever been
Oh,
in
depressed. I thought he said pressed.
my life.
Look at that. I gotta pause it on the eyes. Sorry.
Probably the most depressed I have ever been in my life.
Oh.
Michael and Sharon Palmer
Sorry.
had been invited on the train for a special anniversary dinner. It was August 6th, 1995, a date Michael will never forget.
I was overcome by this overwhelming depression. It was like a despair, an emptiness. Suddenly a realization came to me that the feelings I'd been having must be very similar to the feelings that someone has just before they're going to die. And actually I broke down. I started to cry at that time.
Michael Palmer did not understand why he was
They're
experiencing
gonna unmask that guy as the ghost at the end of the episode.
those unnatural emotions, but somehow he felt it was connected to the railroad's past and the photograph.
We could see it was changing. We couldn't understand it at first, and then as it kept getting clearer and clearer, we happened to mention it to a gentleman by the name of Edmund Stone.
I started to wonder, I know it sounds strange, if perhaps there was a
Edmund Stone. Have we seen this guy before?
reason. I started to wonder,
I think we've seen Edmund Stone before.
I know it sounds strange, if perhaps there was a reason it was happening at that time. What's your name?
Stone
Oh,
is
boy,
a
look at
producer
this.
for a Portland television station. He and director camera operator Wade Evans produced a TV special about the strange happenings
I thought that was Jim J. Bullock.
on the Spirit of camera operator Wade Evans produced a TV special about the strange happenings on the Spirit of Oregon. Their first trip on the train occurred on August 6, 1994, 1 year to the day before Michael Palmer's emotional ride.
Yeah, I felt something was inside of me trying to get out, actually. Then I started feeling emotional. Tears were rolling down my eyes. I felt very sad.
I saw this happen to somebody one time, but it's because I had a 10-gram joint that had 2 grams of concentrate down the middle of it. And I'd been like smoking it off and on for a while, and I let somebody hit it, and I didn't tell them that it had the concentrate in it. And I guess they weren't used to it, and she like got down, like she squatted down like that and cried at one point.
Towel or the lavatory and get a cold towel.
In fact, I threw up. And had to, and got weak, couldn't stand for a moment.
Like Palmer, Evans felt that he was being targeted by
We've seen this one. It said that it shows as not being seen.
an unseen force with an important message.
Since I was trying to record the images that were happening in the train at that time, I was more sort of a conduit for anything else that wanted to be recorded, perhaps.
But what was the message? Why had these two men been transformed by an inexplicable sense of dread? And why did both incidents happen on August the 6th?
And the more I looked into it, the more I thought if there's a reason that things are happening, maybe it's connected with a train crash.
In fact,
I think I have a
on
picture of the
August 6th,
joint.
1935, on the same rails where the Spirit of Oregon rides today, there
Let me
was
see if I
a
can find it.
devastating accident. A bridge collapsed and 5 men died, including the father of Mary Jane Walker.
Unbeknownst to them that all the support had been taken away from the trestle.
The train stopped before the bridge, but railroad workers waved the freight train on.
Well, I thought I did.
And they didn't even get all the way over, and it went down like a deck of cards.
They had 112 feet to fall. They probably had
I can't find it, but I do have this screenshot I took of Flora, who the quote on her thing says, "Grace, say Grace will die." And then it's Flora. That's from her, like, this is not an altered image at all. Grace, say Grace will die.
something in the region of about 10 to 15 seconds of realization that we're going to die a horrible death.
The rails simply fell away below the wheels of the train. 5 men, including Mary Jane's father, died in slow motion. The brakeman was found
You remember all these people?
clutching the brake in his hand with a death grip so strong, he had to be buried with the brake in his hand.
Is it possible that perhaps in that last moment they understood that sadness of death? And is it possible that that feeling is being transmitted 60 years later through my cameraman and my friend? I don't know. That sounds far-fetched, but it might also be an explanation.
An accident report absolved the railroad of responsibility, and the families of the victims were quietly...
You're sure we watched it on here? Like, it shows the last episode we watched as being episode 6, Silent Intruder, Generational Abduction, episode 5. See, okay, hold on. Let's see if this sounds familiar. UFO encounter at 30,000 feet. One missing link. In the news. Miracle on I-74. That's the next episode. And then let's see, episode 9 is Contact in Colorado, Boomtown Ghost, and Miracle at Botania. Do those sound familiar? It's hard for me to tell because I'm so high and I watch so much shit. And Sightings does kind of reuse, we see a lot of the same people.
given cash settlements.
And that's been the way it's been for 60 years. And when we start to look, we realize, hey, maybe this wasn't such an accident after all. Maybe there was negligence. Maybe if these presences on the train
a juicy pump
are trying to tell us something, then what if they were trying to tell us, hey, look at this, because we shouldn't have died?
When Stone first began discussing these conclusions, the ghost image in the photo was, again, becoming more pronounced. And not only was the original photo
What
changing,
else is in this episode?
all the copies of the photo were changing too.
You could see where they had the old-fashioned blue railroad shirt and the old-fashioned vest, and then you could actually start seeing a lantern hanging down.
As the images continued to develop, we showed the photo to Mary Jane Walker, who had ridden that very train with her father so many years ago.
We showed the picture to this elderly woman. Oh, thank you, Dave's channel. Oh, wow. Oh, look at that. You got one of your favorites, Dave. You got the Lalo card. Simply Tony, Yasmina, Casual Critique, Z Versace. Wow, you got Lalo. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that, man. Even though we've already seen the train segment, Dave really stepping up. I appreciate it, Dave. Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to? I want to watch the rest of the train segment because it's Kino. But do you want to skip to the next episode and see, then go from there? Or do you just want to watch from here?
She saw 3 clear images.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
I immediately recognized Ted Johnson, the engineer. And then
Oh, yes, Ted Johnson, of course.
was the man holding the lantern, and I...
Give me a fucking break. You think Ted Johnson is you could tell from this fucking photo that looks like a grease smear that that's Ted Johnson? Come on, lady.
could see, well, that's got to be Adolf Both, the brakeman. And the other would be my dad.
No shit,
I'm
man.
a believer. I think that it had to come. Somehow, they had to get it out, the men. Their spirit would not rest until the truth was known about that damn wreck.
Wow.
And now, in part because of the hauntings aboard the Spirit of Oregon, the message is getting out. Mary Jane recently dedicated a plaque near the scene of the accident. It's a...
Yeah, I said I'm open to it. It's just I plan stuff pretty far in advance. So, especially on something like that, if it's 3 hours, like I've got to really carve out like an extended time for it, because I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussion during that one. I've got it in my like files or whatever, my to watch list.
tribute she hopes will outlast wreckage from the accident rusting nearby.
I do hope that the spirit of Ted Johnson, Adolf Both, and my father know that we know now that it was negligence.
Perhaps now that their story has been told, the 5 men who lost their
Hey, what's up, Joshua Madrano? Yeah, Dan Aykroyd loves the supernatural.
lives on this line will be at rest.
Yes, it's haunted. It's haunted by something that wants to find peace. That's all it wants. And I think it's...
That's Ted, all right.
Although there have been a number of terrifying events on the
What's
Spirit
up,
of Oregon, it
G-Thanks?
seems that the ghosts on the train are
Oh, an hour and
selective
50 minutes? Yeah, I mean, that's easier to work with. I thought you said it was 3 hours. Yeah, I mean, we can fit that in sometime.
whom they target for vengeance. So far, not a single paying customer has had a haunting experience.
Next, he was one of the half-dozen most famous men in the world.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. Daninsky got all bent out of shape because they were blaming Tesla for some kind of thing because of his death ray.
Nikola Tesla was so successful. Why did he destroy a large part of Siberia?
Meet the bride go together. And if you've ever rented an old black and white horror movie, you've seen the wild-eyed, wild-haired mad scientist hunched over a weird contraption spewing electricity. But did you know that that character is based on a real-life American scientist? His name was Nikola Tesla, and there are those who believe that he was mad the night he inadvertently blew up part of Siberia.
Well, what's the consensus? Do you want to skip ahead a couple episodes and see, or do you want to just ride it out?
On June 30th, 1908, a remote area of Siberia known as Tunguska is devastated by a mysterious force 2,000 times greater than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. It left no crater or residue, the usual calling card of a meteor or comet. Russian investigators who found metal fragments at the site suggested the blast had been caused by an alien spacecraft colliding with Earth. But a new, compelling theory about the Tunguska incident...
Now he just blows up cars? True. You want to ride on? Well, hopefully this episode will
suggests
pick
that a
up.
highly concentrated beam of electrical energy caused the total devastation.
I love the train story. The Tesla
And that
one's
only
kind of... I
one
remember
man
too much
had
about
the
it.
scientific knowledge to pull it off.
Nikola Tesla, I feel he's the greatest inventor of the past 500 years. He is a Michelangelo. He is a
McGinnis.
Leonardo da Vinci of science.
He gave us AC power, the fluorescent light, radio, robotics.
By 1900,
Hold on a second.
he was the emperor of invention. He had
I'll
eclipsed
use
at
the rest of this episode to try to
He was
research
one
where
of the
we really
half-dozen
at.
most famous men in the world.
Heady praise for a man we seem to know so little about. When Tesla emigrated to the United States from Croatia in 1884, his dream of working for his hero, Thomas Edison, became a reality. But Tesla's development of a more efficient form of electricity called AC, alternating current, didn't sit well with his new boss, who had already developed the more cumbersome direct current, or DC.
Edison just shut him down. He said, it's DC here. America, Washington, D.C. Forget this AC stuff. You're working for me. I don't want to hear another word of it.
But AC was superior, as Tesla's biographer Tad Wise points out.
DC is like a fine wine that doesn't travel well. It's a power that cannot be stepped up to extremely high frequencies, whereas AC can be transported in these extremely high voltages and then stepped down very safely to be used in a home.
Okay, yeah. All right, so I went back to we haven't watched one for about a month. It looks like we did, yeah, I see it now in the thing. So I'm just trying to see. Okay, I think we need to, okay, hang on. Give me 1 second. I'll get us back on track here. We learned about Nostradamus in the last episode that we watched last time. So I'm thinking we saw in the news. Hang on.
For more than an hour.
Okay, let's try this and see what you think.
Welcome to Sightings. I'm Tim White. After many years of reviewing home video of supposed UFOs, it takes a lot to impress the Sightings investigative team.
He said he is open to an interview. That could be interesting.
But what you're about to see is among the most intriguing UFO footage we've ever broadcast. A brilliant...
Hold on. I think this is where we are, because we normally watch 3 episodes, and that last train episode was like the 2nd episode. So I think this should be where we're at.
Disc-shaped craft hovered over Salida, Colorado for more than an hour. Tim Edwards has spent most of his life in Salida, Colorado. He runs the cafe his dad started 20 years ago. Tim's heard his whole life about fireballs, mutilated cattle, and UFO sightings in the valley. He never thought it would happen to him, but then it did. On the morning of August 27th, 1995, Tim recorded this.
Hang in there, Dave. That's always rough. I remember, like, after my dad passed, like, I kept getting, like, phone calls. Like, they would try to just contact whoever, you know? And it's like, dude, just take me off of the fucking mailing list.
This videotape.
See it going? Do you see it?
Approximately
unless you have, like, a hidden cache of money or something that you found, like...
30. Me and my daughter, Brandy, came out here, and she has said that she looked up in the sky to see if it was going to rain that day.
If it was going to rain or lightning or something, we couldn't go camping, so I looked up and I saw it.
I looked up again, and I see a very intense, bright, shimmering white light. At times, it appeared to be a boomerang shape, too, or a slight arc.
Tim called his restaurant to see if anyone else had sighted the UFO. Cook Michael Maggio told him he'd take a look.
Come out here, about right here, look beyond the door, and I could see the 3 flashes come off that looked like boomerangs, and it was bright white.
Then a 4th witness, Tim's 15-year-old daughter, Lorraine, saw the UFO.
At first, I thought those guys were crazy. I was like, that's dumb. And then when it started moving around, I was like, couldn't believe it.
Michael Curta is MUFON's chief investigator.
So half the witnesses are...
Asked Chip Peterson to study the Edwards videotape. Peterson is...
Sorry, I lost connection for a second. It looks like it's coming. It looks like it's back up again. Okay,
aerospace engineers specializing in computer enhancement and stabilization.
When you look at moving video, what you're actually seeing is 30 frames per second flipping on the screen very quickly, and that's what we've got right here. What you're seeing here is the edge of each frame that I had to stabilize by hand in order to keep this object in the center of the screen. So after you stabilize the image, you can see its motion much more clearly. Based on what I know of atmospheric flight, it doesn't look like any conventional aircraft.
Could it be otherworldly technology? Yes, it could. Could it be military aircraft? Yes, it could. Could it be some unexplained weather phenomena?
I've got gang stalkers outside making a lot of noise, too. Here we go.
It's also possible. There's an awful lot of strange things that occur in the mysterious valley of Colorado, and this is racking up to be one of them.
The San Luis Valley is 5,000 square miles of fertile Colorado pasture land, the largest, cleanest alpine meadow in the world. It's also a UFO hotspot. Recently, people here sighted huge fireballs streaking across the sky.
Over on this mountain range, we've seen the orange orbs that come down and sit or just race right across the mountain range.
This bright blue oval and was traveling at the speed one
Somebody got spit on? Wow.
would expect a meteor, and it stopped instantly and started.
Listen, let Jack Cookerly.
Straight down.
We saw lights come off of this.
Elton Coon, of course. Who doesn't remember good old Elton Coon? What's up, crew?
Side of the mountain over here, come clear across and go over the top of these mountains on this side. This light came across all the way across the north.
Yeah, that tends to be what I think, Virginia. I think it's just experimental crafts and shit. Like, remember those New Jersey things that were such a big deal? And then it just turned out like that it was just, they didn't explain what it was, but I mean, they just said like it was our stuff.
No sound whatsoever.
For 10 years, researcher Chris O'Brien has studied more than 100 bizarre animal mutilations in the valley and their potential link to UFO activity.
The activity that we experienced in November through January was quite incredible. We saw so much activity here. We had green fireballs, blue fireballs, squadrons of blinking lights traveling too fast to be conventional aircraft, and then soon on the heels of many of these sightings, we had incredible military...
Swamp gas, that's all it is. They tell you it's swamp gas. We can see it with our own eyes, but it's swamp gas.
Activity.
On January 12th,
Don't believe what you saw yourself, folks. That was a weather balloon.
1994, the most spectacular UFO sighting to date occurred when an enormous arc of fiery orbs raced across the afternoon sky. Among the eyewitnesses was a retired 30-year Air Force veteran, pilot Jimmy Lloyd.
They were extremely bright, like strobes, a green color. They were set up in a semicircular formation. They looked as big as a battleship and very fast. They were going at hypersonic speed, yet there was no sound wave.
Within hours of the sighting, it became clear that Colonel Lloyd was not the only one interested in the sighting. In nearby Monte Vista, Colorado, the local sheriff received a phone call from the North American Air Defense Command.
The Rio Grande County Sheriff's Office got a call from NORAD saying that one of their satellites had picked up a significant burst of heat up on Greeny Mountain.
The information to us from NORAD that night that we needed to exhaust all efforts to determine what this explosion was.
At NORAD's urgent request, the sheriff dispatched planes and a ground crew to search for the source of the explosion. But as the team neared Greeny Mountain, they were waved off.
When they called us in originally, they gave us coordinates. Explosion took place here. So many degrees latitude, so many degrees longitude.
Swamp
then
ass.
we called them back and they said, well, it happened on these coordinates, which are completely different. Probably
John Jellum. What is that? How do you pronounce that? John, is it just John Jellum? John Gajellum?
20 miles away, 15 miles away out of all time.
Had NORAD really been off by more than 20 miles? Or did they want the search team out of the area?
Oh.
We did our extensive search and couldn't come up with anything. I called NORAD directly and was in contact with Major McCouch. He kind of blew it off. He said, if we can't find it, don't worry about it. If we can't find it, it never happened, and that it was no more of our concern.
In an effort to determine what really happened, Sightings asked aerospace analyst Ron Rieger to access satellite data collected in the area on the day in question. Rieger has concluded that there was a significant heat flash on January 12, 1994.
I did talk with one of the analysts.
I've heard that, but I also heard he doesn't turn violent unless he's hungry.
At work, and they confirmed both the event, the time, and the location, and added the comment that this did not appear to be a forest fire.
The cause of the explosion, recorded by NORAD and confirmed through satellite data, remains a mystery, as do the many UFO sightings that continue to be recorded in the San Luis Valley. If the military has any answers, they're not telling. The lack of information is particularly disturbing to Tim Edwards, who has the dubious distinction of owning the best footage of one of the area's many UFOs.
I've been obsessed, almost, my family thinks, with trying to get the information, the facts out of this case and the truth.
Terry Bradshaw.
And getting this out to the public and bringing witnesses forward.
One thing that sustains Tim Edwards and UFO researchers in the valley is the knowledge that UFO activity here is not just a cosmic flash in the pan. The local paper records sightings today just as it did more than 80 years ago. Back then, eyewitnesses asked one simple question.
Methodist conference closed Monday.
And
Selena has again demonetized? Is that what it says? Her unpredictability and something?
It's the same question people are...
What is it? During the past week, Salida people have been seeing something. They are responsible citizens, and their word cannot be questioned? Wow, what? Salida citizens have heard of mysterious vehicles of the air flying about various parts of the country, and probably concluded, as did the writer, that some ambitious, I'm assuming that's like ambitious newspaper, thought it was an opportune time to print something along this line. But there is something to it. Nearly every night this week, some kind of a light, something.
Still asking.
The selected tape is consistent with a number of reports Sightings has received about UFOs in the four-state area of Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico.
The alien DNA melted his hair follicles.
Continuing to pursue these reports, and will bring you extended coverage on an upcoming edition of Sightings.
We used to watch this more often, but ATF Media kept requesting more Boyd.
Next, in this tiny mining town, the past and present coexist, and it's not easy.
Georgetown is a very haunted community, but this is just going beyond that.
Driving out of Denver and into the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains, the road is dotted with small towns that seem frozen in time. They survive today much as they have for the past 100 years, perfectly preserved reminders of a simpler, kinder way of life. Perhaps that's why so many people who move here never want to leave, even after they're dead. Wow. Boomtown.
This was Georgetown, Colorado in 1895. This is Georgetown, Colorado in 1995. 100 years has done little to change the silver mining.
Boy, it was very... I thought it was a good show overall. I had a good time with it. Yeah, Flora was... I was not expecting that kind of Flora.
Boomtown. Most of the buildings from the previous century are still around. And to hear locals talk, so are the people who lived here back then.
Georgetown is a very haunted community, so I just thought we have to coexist. These are like parallel universes or something like that. So I just thought, let's, live together. That's what people do up here with their houses, their homes, and everything. But this is just going beyond that.
In 1994, Bill Pentland and Becky Richardson traded their fast-track life in Hollywood's entertainment industry for the peace and quiet of Georgetown. They bought an old restaurant.
You're going to make a move on Flora?
Named it the Full Circle Cafe, and began to restore it, stirring up the past in surprising ways.
When we first bought the cafe, what we did, we had to do a lot of remodeling, a lot of renovation. We had to go down into the basement, and it has a lot of really neat types of things down there. And we found all these receipts, newspapers, and obviously at that point we had realized too that this box had really not been touched for almost about 100 years.
Opening that box and using its contents to decorate...
Opening that box and using its contents.
At the cafe seemed to be a paranormal trigger.
We found a lot of papers in the basement that had the writings of the people, their receipts. Sat here for about 100 years with nothing happening, and once we...
Being with Flora would be life-changing. Are you able to financially support her lifestyle of traveling to different countries and exotic locales alone?
Brought up the vibrations or the essence or the actual touch of these people.
What's up,
these
Hugh
things just very quickly began to happen.
But it took a while for Bill and Becky to realize that their rummagings might be linked to strange happenings in the cafe.
Little subtle things started happening, just noises and just some things rattling and things like that.
We turn the TV off, it's on. If we turn the lights off, they're on.
I would be totaling out the calculator, trying to add up the daily registers and stuff.
If you can afford like weekly international travel, G thinks you should be weekly internationally traveling, bro. What are you doing?
End of the total, the whole thing would just
Forget
like clear
Flora.
out.
Anything that had to do with water was breaking down. Ice machines, sinks, toilets, pipes under the ground.
I mean, it happened night after night after night after night.
At first, everyone involved in the Full Circle Cafe put up with the seemingly playful haunting activity. But then the incidents took on a more frightening, even menacing tone.
I was by myself.
What's up,
and
Scott?
Something came up from behind me and grabbed.
Right, but I'm saying if you have enough liquid that you could travel internationally at the rate that she does, like you can't work. That's kind of the thing. Like you can't work and, although I guess you could just fund her while she's out doing her stuff. That'd be the ideal, I think, for her. You would stay back and earn the money, and then she would go out and travel and make the vlogs.
Bar stool and like turn me around just like you would just like turn around real fast, you know, or something in your chair.
One night, Caleb Lopez was remarking on the striking resemblance between Becky and a woman in this photograph.
And the picture flew off.
Wait, you'll pay for travel as long as they'll carry a small bag for you? That sounds like how they used to do it in wrestling, or in Japanese wrestling, the young boys. They would like carry the bags and drive the car, like drive to the venues and shit.
And that kind of spooked all of us.
It also prompted Becky to wonder if her...
So basically just pay for her to travel and then never really see her in person. I think she would go for that, G thinks.
Uncanny resemblance to the woman in the photo might explain the haunting in the cafe. She and Bill started...
Me too. We could get some great content with that added budget into the money.
Searching their cafe's historic past.
In the 1890s, this particular establishment was a general store. And there were two brothers, a William and an Albert Shaw.
Yeah,
but
Brutus
there's also
did
a
for
third
Hogan.
brother, Edward. But their energy is still here. And
Bob Brown's got Flora carrying his Coke across the border.
God, I hope I haven't opened up a big can of worms with these guys.
No sooner had Bill and Becky learned about the Shower brothers than an apparition of Edward
Shower
Shower
brothers
appeared to Becky in the cafe.
And I look in the kitchen, and there is one of the Shower brothers standing at the sink, you know, and because it's the guy in the picture, it's the guy with the mustache. And all I could do was think of, I gotta get out, I've gotta get out. And I was so freaked out of seeing something that I know was from 1895, and he's in my cafe.
Soon after Becky's encounter, waitress Erin Sharecki saw the ghostly image of another brother.
What I had seen was the image of a man, and it was a perfect image. He had on a long-sleeve dark shirt, and his apron was dark, so to speak.
The ghost that Erin described was a perfect match for John Shower, even though Erin had not seen this photograph. Sightings asked renowned psychic investigator Peter James to come to the...
Oh, I was wondering how long it was going to take before we saw this guy.
Full Circle Cafe to uncover the reason behind the escalating haunting activity. He was told nothing about the history of the cafe or the Shower brothers. In fact, Peter was not even told that his destination was Georgetown until the day he left. Yet his first psychic impressions were on target.
My preliminary sense of what is within the structure, not necessarily here as we speak, is a male entity. And I pick up the name of Edward.
When Peter was in here last night, that was the first thing he walked in and said, "Who is Edward?" And it just kind of gave us big-time chills.
I get a sense that there's an energy about someone named John as well.
The oldest brother was John. John was a baker.
Vibrationally, he's talking about some kind of a fish. And I don't know what that means, but there's a fish of all things.
I think he was thinking the ghost was trying to communicate the idea of baked soul.
Involved here.
The Fish block, Charles Fish, the builder, was a banker here in Georgetown, amongst other things. He built the building.
Charles Fish built the building.
We see there now.
I'll be right back.
Oh, around 1890 or 1891.
I will say that Edward does come down here. These vibrations, like the walls, the beams reek of his energy because he's also angry.
It was in the attic that Peter felt Edward's angry presence most strongly.
Hello? Communicate with me. Look. Hello? See? Oh, he's angry. Don't be angry with me. This is a volatile entity, by the way. Don't play games with me. I'm not afraid of you. He said, I didn't kill him. I didn't kill him, and he's angry. Don't be angry at me. This entity is capable of making sound, of talking.
Moments later, Peter's contention that the spirit could speak seemed to be proven correct.
Edward! Speak to me now! Listen.
It is important to note that 12 people witnessed these events. There are no windows in the attic. It was well past midnight. The Full Circle Cafe was...
I mean, he's got to be, I would think, making money somehow, even if it was just the hope of parlaying it into a book, maybe, or something. I'm not sure.
Closed, and Peter had never seen the picture that Becky was about to show him.
This one.
Oh.
This is the one I saw. This is the one that I saw upstairs. I got goosebumps myself.
That's what I saw.
How would I book Peter James? As like an assistant to like the authority figure. We would just bring him in whenever there was like a controversy. He could come in and like, you know, reach out to Luthez or something for help.
In the kitchen.
This is Edward.
We've been gone to great pains to keep him in the dark. It's like I have to bite my tongue. He knew nothing.
Peter believes that by confronting the spirit of Edward Shower...
G thinks if you're looking to maybe, you know, doing a similar thing but on a budget, have you considered the Bethadone Clinic? She is in need of a financier right now. But she promises she'll only spend the money on coffee, coffee creamer, and energy drinks.
He has released his haunting energy.
If they want Edward to move on, I think this will happen simply by the fact that the history is now being brought to light. And I feel that Edward is now aware of the fact that we know that he was falsely accused of this murder. And I think that will help him move on.
While the Sightings team was in Georgetown, we heard...
Can you imagine if you moved into a house haunted by the heathen?
...from many other residents who had also experienced haunting reminders of the town's past. We'll introduce you to more of the ghosts of Georgetown on an upcoming program.
Next, a breakthrough in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
We are going to discover something.
And buyer beware when it comes to haunted houses.
I would trust Bethadone Clinic.
Here are some of the stories Sightings is following in the news. Recently, Sightings brought you the story of an Ohio University project called the Big Ear. A giant radio telescope there is searching for sounds of intelligent life in the cosmos. Well, now in Columbus, Ohio, a second...
Oh, wow. Are we getting an update on the ear?
The independent search project is underway. We've dubbed it the Big Eye.
I could not eat. I could not sleep. I have been under constant harassment from the criminal organization known as Auditors, Harvey Freebird, 300 Black Teens, which had been drinking for hours, putting my life at risk. Do not call the police.
In Ohio's capital, astronomer Stuart Kingsley is conducting an independent search for visual signs of extraterrestrial intelligence by updating an idea discarded in the 1960s, laser communication.
I'm looking for a regular pulsation in the optical spectrum, basically a bleep, 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 rather like an interstellar heartbeat.
Traditionally, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or ETI, uses radio telescopes programmed to pick up anomalous sounds. But Kingsley believes that our first two-way communication with outer space will be visual.
Lasers are more for point-to-point targeting, and it gives you a very narrow beam, even over interstellar distances. So that
I think that's the issue, is if you approach somebody, any of these streamers, like in reality, if you would, like the idea of loaning them money based off of, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think you would, if you want to give them money, that makes sense. But like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really expect to be paid back.
Why I think the preferred technology for ETIs to communicate with other stars is lasers.
And Kingsley is confident his search will not be in vain.
We are going to discover something, but that, that's going to be a major news story, because that means we are not alone.
In New York, it's buyer beware. Home sellers here no longer have to disclose to potential buyers that the house they're trying to unload is haunted.
Why on earth would you ever have to disclose that? What a nightmare that would actually be a thing that you have to disclose if it's haunted.
26 states do require disclosure if a home has a past history of unsettling activity. But New York Governor George Pataki...
Okay, whenever they're... Okay, I think I need clarity here. Are they saying that anything, when they say whatever unsettling behavior, does that mean you have to say if like a murder happened there or a high profile crime? That would make sense, because even back in the day, people would visit homes of like true crime that are like true crime related. I don't think that the law necessarily has to do with ghosts versus like a violent act taking place there, like a murder or something.
Has signed a law exempting home sellers from upfront disclosure of a home's, quote, psychological impact.
A psychological impact can be anything from a haunting to a murder to a suicide.
It could, okay, whatever.
To pool leaking.
Realtor Kathy Edwards believes that full disclosure of a property's haunted
reputation... Well, right, but there's a huge difference between needing to disclose if a violent crime happened there versus if it's haunted. I mean, haunted is made up. How can you even litigate that? What somebody told me, or somebody said 30 years ago that this place was haunted, so now you're going to get sued for not disclosing that?
It's important, whether or not it's mandated by law.
If we were listing a property that was known to be or thought to be haunted either by a seller...
It's Me is not going to like this real estate trad one bit.
...or by the community in general, I would recommend to the seller that they notify any serious buyers of the fact that it was known to be haunted.
Even if the seller does not believe in ghosts, if a home is believed by others in the community to be a haunted house, that fact should also be disclosed.
My partner and I listed a property in this community that we thought was haunted because every time you walked in, it was...
So, I mean, in theory, couldn't you just you could just hold up every home sale in the area by saying that you heard that there were ghosts there?
Extremely cold. I mean, colder than you would normally think a closed-up empty house would be. And yes, we did disclose. The buyer moved in. They've never had anything happen. So,
what's real,
just
Annabelle?
Been a cold
yeah,
draft.
I'm sure,
we don't know, but
I'm sure demons are real.
That could potentially affect
They're everywhere.
A buyer's decision to purchase a property, they absolutely should disclose it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like disclosing that it's got, the portal to hell in it or something. Like, it's just complete bullshit. Why would you have to disclose? How could you litigate that? That ultimately is what it boils down to, right? How do you enforce that? You just say that if any human being that's ever lived considered this place to be haunted, you have to legally disclose it?
In New Delhi, India, thousands of Hindus are standing in long lines to see what they believe to be a series of religious miracles. In fact, Hindus throughout the world are experiencing the miracle in their own temples. Stone carvings of the elephant god known.
Would I buy a haunted house? Well, if it's being disclosed up front, I'd be more likely. If I found out she tried to, you know, pull one over on me I'd have to bring in, well, I guess I can't bring in Peter James, but...
known as Ganesha, have suddenly and inexplicably begun...
Oh, yeah, look at this miracle. Holy shit. What is wrong with people?
...to drink milk.
And since it happened, I believed it with my own eyes. Otherwise, I would not have.
From New Delhi, the milk-drinking phenomenon has spread quickly to temples throughout Asia, Great Britain, and the United States.
It was amazing, you know, it just sucked it up. It's just a stream just going straight up. And I said, how could this not, not be a miracle? This has to be something,
this music.
supernatural.
I've never seen this before, so it's the first time, you know, you're witnessing something, a miracle.
Ooh, a Hindu trad.
That's what you can say, it's a miracle.
While the Hindu milk miracle spreads around the globe, religious leaders...
Oh boy, the Hindu milk miracle.
...are being cautious about the significance of the phenomenon, but the faithful are embracing it as a positive sign from one of their gods.
Oh, it's a good sign. It's really good for the fun.
Yeah, I drink raw milk in a hot tub.
For the nation, you know, they are telling us that I'm
The
here to
American
take care of
milk
you.
miracle.
Don't you worry.
So this is a sign, very good sign, that God is blessing everybody, all the devotees, and...
Peter James, if you're with us, send me some insight on Dinesh Lakampal. What do you know? What are you feeling? Are you seeing any names? Are you seeing any visions?
Trying to recreate faith in their minds.
I'm sorry, guys. The veil is rather thick today. He can't get through to me, but we'll keep trying.
We'll have more stories from the news next time. Now, here's what's coming up on Sightings.
Healing miracles really do happen at a place called Britannia.
You believe miracles can happen here?
Oh, yes, indeed. I've seen it in both trips.
Yeah, it was a pretty good episode. I wish they would have shown but I mean, they only had for what time they had. I thought they did a really good job with it. I would have liked more. They probably wanted to end it on like a good note rather than show the rematch. But selfishly, I wanted to see the rematch so I could be on Dark Side of the Ring.
36,000 miles an hour. Are you ready for Comet Hale-Bopp?
What causes...
Yeah, do you see now why on all those old shows I went to, I always cheered for Necro?
Miracle to happen. Why are some blessed while others, just as deserving, are passed over? These are questions that have gone unanswered for thousands of years, but
frauds,
still,
that's right.
Millions of people put their faith in the possibility of miracles. And as Carla Wohl reports, many of the faithful flock to a Catholic shrine called Britannia, hoping that they will be chosen.
I don't own one.
Drive from Caracas, the city beat gives way to the tranquility of the Venezuelan countryside, and a place where many believe miracles can happen. The waters here are said to have healing powers, and there's a shrine.
Yeah, there was a rematch, and I understand why they didn't, because that match that they covered is so good, and the rematch was a complete letdown, pretty much. But they had it in Chicago, which was the mistake, because the Chicago area has different rules than Philadelphia. They should have had it in Indiana, but the problem is in Indiana, they could have had a better match, but nobody would have been there to see it.
Where many prayers are answered.
Many people come here and they see nothing, but you feel it.
For most, it's a feeling beyond description.
It's a mystery, and in the mystery is the wisdom.
It's called Britannia, and people come here from around the world to pray, gain wisdom, and be healed. They drink the water. Many even claim they've had supernatural visions at Britannia.
Sometimes you will see balls form, colored balls, and they might be...
Sometimes if you go down to the watering hole, you'll see balls, says Wendy Benedict.
blue ones, they might be rose colored.
This blue butterfly.
You might see some blue balls down at the waterfall.
Whoosh.
Yeah, according to Benedict and Hulick.
Between our heads.
Came right between
both
our
of our
heads
cheeks.
and brushed our cheeks.
Wow, so a couple of blue balls down at the waterfall touched these people's cheeks.
The ceiling of the chapel.
And the people went nuts.
And as I watched them, like a vapor appeared over the top of it. And when it did, it went into the shape of a lady.
People come to be healed. Miraculously, many are. You believe miracles can happen here?
Oh, yes, indeed. I've seen them. I've seen them both.
Make sure to get your Britannia Miracle t-shirt from old Dave McGurk, Leroy's grandfather.
I've been down here. I've seen a woman was on the same pilgrimage as me for 45 years. She was bent over with scoliosis. When she left here, she stood straight up.
These inscriptions in stone have been left by those who've been healed. The miracles have been investigated by the Catholic Church. And after more than 500 interviews, Bishop Pio Bello has concluded that miracles do occur here. So like Lourdes in southern France,
Fusion Studios has a strict no blue balls policy.
Britannia has been sanctioned as an official apparition site.
My judgment is
Hey, it's a me, Bishop Pio Bello.
Apparitions are authentic.
This is a real miracle, the waterfall, not like that fake milk elephant man.
Supernatural.
But it is this woman who people most want to see when they travel to Britannia.
Good morning, good morning.
Maria Esperanza is known as the visionary of Britannia. She discovered this shrine and believes that in this place, Jesus and the Virgin Mary can speak through her.
Oh my God.
Believers say she has an extraordinary spiritual power.
You're standing and walking with no wheelchair and no crutches today. How did that happen? What happened?
I was blessed to get in front of her, and when we locked eyes, I went down on the ground.
Folks, people have eaten this Fusion Studios pizza and had incredible results from it. They're not verified by the FDA, nor are they documented in any way, but
I got up.
Use code THETRUTH to save 10%.
I took my cane at the tour guide, jumped off a porch, ran up this hill to the chapel, grabbed my luggage, ran up another hill to the bus.
Maria Esperanza makes no claims herself, but others believe she's been given the power to see the future.
When you meet her, she knows everything about you, the present, the past, and the future. She is able to see things and know things before they ever occur.
It's the power of this tiny woman and this tiny waterfall that makes Britannia the place of last resort for so many desperate people.
If I ever win the lottery, I'm going to go use that miracle waterfall as a bidet.
The only thing I knew about spina bifida was that it was devastating.
Little Ryan...
This is so depressing that people use these things and involve, like, the family. That's when it really crosses over from, like, whatever you want to consider it into like true, like, predatory grifting.
Hulick was born with a gaping hole at the base of his spine.
I'd never seen anything like it before, and I really didn't understand what I was looking at.
This diagnosis of spina bifida is something that involves the brain.
Wow, look at that hair.
It involves the spinal cord, and because it involves your nervous system, it involves anything from the head down.
Ben Thorpe, they need to say, well, Ben does, he would be, according to Sightings, they would list him as like they would list him as like a, you know, with his credentials.
Prognosis for Ryan was not good. He might be walking by age 5, but there was no guarantee that he would ever survive into adulthood.
I sort of felt like I had a baby with a time bomb.
You know, the only one that we've seen, because we've seen a ton of these on Sightings, I feel like the only one that really didn't, like, that maybe was not as bad was, remember that it was kind of a offbeat story, but it was like about a kid with Down syndrome whose like life improved when he was in proximity to dolphins. I feel like that one wasn't, there wasn't much money exchanging in that one, I don't think.
So I didn't sleep well. I was always listening for him to see is this going to be the night?
It was after one particularly bad episode that Pat Hulick decided to seek the help of Maria Esperanza. Pat and her husband Casey met Maria in Lowell, Massachusetts during a tour of the United States.
She finished speaking with the family, and she just turned around and walked right up to us.
Yeah, I was gonna say Andy Kaufman went to see that whatever that thing was that he went to. I don't remember what they call them. I think it was called psychic surgery or something. But it was really big when I was a kid. I remember seeing a ton of news reports about it, and they would just like take a piece of chicken or meat or whatever with blood on it, and then they'd like run their hands on your body and act like they were pulling tumors out. But it was like a really big thing at one time.
And she says through the interpreter, "Here, this is the place," and she's touching her lower spine.
He was Dolphin Max.
And we said yes. We had never given her any details about this child or the condition.
She looked at us and she said he's being healed in 3 parts, and the first part is happening right now.
The Hulicks didn't immediately notice a change in Ryan's condition. But then, when Maria returned for another visit to the United States, this time to Valley Forge, Maria met Ryan in person.
She turned right around and she took Ryan out of my arms and sat right down. And on the video, you can see her hand going right down over where the shunt and down along the shunt line of his little chest, and then on the spine and the back and the whole thing.
Almost instantly, the Hulicks say, Ryan was stronger. They took him to the Westchester Spina Bifida Clinic, where Ryan's doctors were baffled by his sudden improvement.
The neurologist came in, and he was doing his exam and writing down his comments and so forth, and he got up and got his colleague because he wanted to check and make sure it was the right kid and the right records and the right everything because it was so dramatic.
A few months later, the Hulicks took Ryan to Britannia, to Maria's house, for the third and final part of his healing.
You've never heard him talk
Suddenly,
about miracles?
Ryan woke up and he was screaming like a very, very strong cry, as if he were in pain. And she said,
Hey, Ember, I wonder what his stance is on miracle. I mean, he'd have to, don't you kind of have to? He might argue that there's like room for differing opinion, but the Catholic Church seems to have pretty like a lot of ironclad rules.
He's crying because that which was apart,
The miracle at Sturbridge.
has just come together. She said, this is the third part. He's going to begin to become completely healed.
On that bus ride back from Caracas after he received the third part, we noticed an immediate dramatic change in Ryan. He was so strong and just trying to get up and to move and just so bouncy.
The Hulicks returned to their home in New York, and Ryan began making dramatic improvements, much to the surprise of the neurosurgeon who had made the original diagnosis.
I think he's excelled in some ways beyond what his objective analyses, such as pictures, x-rays, CAT scans, MRIs, might have led us to think he could do. The art of medicine 100 years ago was holistic, and that
Danbury,
was, we didn't have
dump.
the technology and the capability to correct anatomical abnormalities that we do now. We forgot about faith, and we forgot about hope and positive.
We do get them pretty frequently, but it tends to be on the more like fantastic stories versus, I don't think we've gotten any like any of the like miracle kid story updates or anything, but you do get an update every once in a while.
Thinking.
Faith and positive thinking are all that Ann Jones believes she has left. Ann's daughter Amanda has epilepsy. She has a seizure nearly every day. Doctors said she would improve with age, but her progress has been unexpectedly slow. At age 5, Amanda is still a toddler in many ways.
Language-wise, I thought she'd be talking more. They have expected her to. They really can't explain why the language isn't coming in.
Ann heard about Ryan.
Do you think they'll go through all this miracle stuff and then we'll get like a 5-second disclaimer from the guy saying like, now none of the results could be verified in any way, but
Hulick's miraculous recovery. So now she too is making the pilgrimage to Britannia.
I'm going to pray for a miracle for her health, to get over her epilepsy, to talk. Even if she could just talk, I'd be happy.
Ann Jones invited Carla Wall and her Sightings team to travel with her on her pilgrimage to Britannia. It was to be a journey of faith she hoped would have a miraculous ending.
When Sightings returns, Carla Wall meets Maria Esperanza, and Ann Jones hopes for answered prayers.
This is my daughter, Amanda.
There have been claims of miraculous healing and apparitions of the Virgin Mary from every corner of the globe. But currently, the Catholic Church recognizes only 4 locations as sites where miracles do happen. They are Lourdes, Fatima, Garbandal, and Britannia.
Of course. Oh, no.
First. Come on. Up you go.
The Hulicks are traveling from New York. Ann Jones from Michigan. Wendy Benedict from Missouri. It's a poignant mix of faith and desperation that's brought them thousands of miles from home to Venezuela. From Caracas, we board a bus and drive out into the country to Britannia and its resident visionary Maria Esperanza. Pat and Casey Hulick are convinced that their son Ryan was able to overcome the crippling disease spina bifida because of the healing gift of Maria Esperanza.
So is it a trip to say thank you for you? Is it a...
It sure is. It's a trip to say thank you, and it's a trip, for me, is a total trip of joy.
But for every miraculous recovery, there are thousands still waiting to be healed. Ann Jones has come in search of a miracle for her daughter.
What kind of healing are you hoping for your daughter? Really? I'd like to see her.
She's like, I'm praying that my brother Peter will get his life together and stop harassing people that live in so-called haunted houses.
No more seizures. This is a possibility here. I really do.
Okay, this is Finca Britannia. This is the entrance to Britannia.
Wendy Benedict is the leader of the group. She brings pilgrims to Britannia every other month. People from many different faiths come to bathe in the healing waters and to pray. And sometimes, Benedict says, the faithful are rewarded with amazing supernatural sights.
Do you want to skip the sick kid segment?
Shrine.
Sometimes the sun will spin. Sometimes.
I mean, I don't see any possible redemption for this particular segment. So, I mean, I'm open to it.
Turn colors. Many times when you're in the grotto, you will see people looking at the palms of their hands. And what's happened, there's a very fine gold dust that falls all over them.
There are no glowing apparitions on this day, but a vision in white does appear.
Viva Maria! Viva Maria!
Maria
Viva
always
Maria!
says, I am a simple person. But she's far from being simple. I don't know why she was chosen, but I don't know that anyone knows why they receive special graces or special gifts. Maria says that everyone who comes to Britannia receives graces.
And those graces are believed to be strongest when given personally by Maria Esperanza. So the crowd pushes in, reaching, pleading, hoping she'll share with them her vision of their future.
Do you understand me? Sí, I do. I understand. Happy and joyful because from today.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Gloria a Dios.
As she works her way through the crowd, she is continually asked to do the
Oh,
seemingly
of course, yeah. I mean, she's the gatekeeper to the miracle.
impossible.
Yeah, you can just go there and get a miracle, but it's not, you get that miracle plus if you get it while she's there.
Make the crippled stand up and walk to heal the terminally ill.
Ayúdame, Señor. Yo quiero vivir. Yo quiero vivir.
Bizarre one.
Many times when I have seen her do healings, for instance, she assumes the illness on herself, and until she's able to expel it.
Give me a break, bro. She's absorbing this stuff. That sounds like that one lady, remember, that slept with 1,000 guys, and she said she would they would pump all their negative energy into her, and then she would shed it when she had her period or whatever. So she's, not only is this woman chosen by God Almighty to administer miracles, but only if you're coming to her. She's not going out into the world or sharing giving the water out for free or whatever. But like this lady is absolutely nuts.
From her body, she's physically ill.
She's actually taking on all the, like, she's not just a hero. She's not just selflessly doing this. It's tormenting her until she can expel all these diseases.
Me está doliendo el miel.
Today my heart has been hurting. I feel it here.
And then she's got this translator trad, probably working for free.
Maria Esperanza rarely grants interviews to the media, but she agreed to sit down with me after one of her healing sessions. What do you see and what do you feel
I love
when you
these
look
people.
at these people, when you look at me, when you look at anyone?
Es algo tan natural. It is something so natural.
Hacerme sentir
It's like if it was my task to make them feel
de que yo los conozco.
that I already know them.
Why, Maria, are you able to help and heal some people?
Why, Maria?
Like little Ryan Hulick, and others you can't help.
Personas como el pequeño Brian y otros no están en capacidad para ayudar.
No lo sé,
I
solo
don't
sabe el
know.
Señor.
Only the Lord knows why.
Yeah, exactly. If everything goes right, I get all the credit. I reap the rewards. If your kid dies, that was God. That's on God. God's will.
For Ann Jones,
God's
the wait
plan.
to see Maria Esperanza has been agonizing. She douses herself and Amanda's picture with water from the spring. Then finally, she meets Maria.
This is my daughter,
Señora María,
Amanda.
esta es mi hija Amanda.
She has seizures every day.
A los 4 meses de nacida ella,
When she was 4
¿qué
months
pasó?
old,
Eso es importantísimo.
something happened. This is very important.
4 months?
No, 4 months.
Well, she had her DPT shot. Was it the DPT shot? No.
Tuvo una vacuna,
Ahí está.
la triple.
Exacto. Confirmo.
Maria told Anne that she sees Amanda improving, but progress will
She's the ladies, the miracle ladies, anti-vax.
be slow.
Thank you.
Translate.
Vete feliz,
Live happy.
vete alegre
Live joyful.
y confórmate a la
It's not the promise of a complete cure that Anne had wished for,
Place of the money in the basket.
but she is at peace because Maria has injected her with hope that Amanda will improve in her own time, just as Ryan Hulick did. Is Ryan a
You
miracle
think it's Tony Falk milking people for money?
child? Is Botania a place where miracles happen? Or is he simply proof that when medicine falls short, faith can make up the difference?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry that these bad things are happening to you and your family, but your faith is too weak. Remember when Love Left Me Forever said the reason that he didn't go to the reunion was because people came to him and were nice to him and asked him to please come, but their wills were too weak to change his mind.
In Spanish, Esperanza means hope, and that is what Ann Jones has received from the prophet of
Boy,
Botania.
what a bitch.
Since her return from Venezuela, Ann feels that her daughter Amanda is making small steps forward, and she hopes these signs of improvement will one day add up.
Which, by the way, is what the doctors told her, right? Is that she was making improvements, just not as rapidly as they hoped, but that there would be incremental improvement, which is what's happening. And now when medical shit takes its course and she gets better and better, instead of being like, oh, it's my team of doctors that told me exactly what would happen. No, it was this lady that I flew to the other side of the world to meet, and then I dunked my head in a fucking toilet.
To a miracle.
Next, are comets bad omens of things to come?
Fired up.
What will happen when Hale Bopp arrives?
Now we're getting that. Now we're getting into it. Hale Bopp. Hell yeah.
Comets are enormous balls of ice hurtling through space, destroying everything in their path.
This, of course, synchronicity with our very occasional deep dive into Heaven's Gate, which you can. That's when you know that I'm at like my my bottom for mental health is when we do the Marshall Applewhite episodes, but we've been slowly making our way through those, and of course they were obsessed with Hale Bopp.
And for centuries, comets have been seen as harbingers of doom. The mother of all comets is thought to be Halley's Comet, not due back over Earth until the year 2060. But in the spring of 1997, we will be visited by the less famous comet Hale Bopp. And in cosmic terms, this one will miss us only by a whisker.
From Earth, we can see only a tiny fraction of the vast uncharted expanse of outer space.
And then that guy's going to call in to, was it on Bob Lazar's show, and say that he saw a UFO hovering behind the comet, and then that's what gives Marshall Applewhite the idea to use it to justify everybody leaving their vehicles.
Vastness has inspired wonder and fear. Now, that fear of the unknown is being challenged by frightening new discoveries in outer space.
We think the solar system is surrounded by It's in our planetary system already. It's out a little bit beyond the orbit of Jupiter at this point, and will pass just inside the Earth's orbit in March of 1997.
While astronomers reassure us that Comet Hale-Bopp will not impact on Earth, there are many people who believe that even a visit from a comet is a bad omen.
Uh-oh.
People have many beliefs about comets. For example, if you see a comet, you'll die soon after. Or
oh, we've got a folk trad. Very impressive. Heather Joseph Whittam.
You see a comet and you don't cross yourself and tell someone, then you'll lose a finger. All sorts of peculiar things like that.
UCLA folklorist Heather Joseph Whittam notes that historical events are often tied to a passing comet.
For example, in 1066, there was a comet, and just afterwards, the Normans invaded England and the Battle of Hastings took place, and England became a Norman country. People who...
So the person just told you to walk in? Just to walk into the house? How many of us will still be alive to see the return of Halley's Comet in 2060? And we still be in this chat? How many years? Oh, that's a pretty good way away, man. I mean, Ben will definitely be gone. We won't be able to experience it with Ben, more than likely. I'll be like in my 80s, almost 90.
Who see this, the belief is reinforced. Something happened. But it's not for you or I necessarily to say that the comet didn't predict the event, because we don't really know.
What we do know is that the comet discovered in July 1995 by amateur astronomers Alan Hale and Thomas Bopp is huge, and it's rapidly heading this way.
We're thinking the nucleus of the comet may be something between 20 and 50 kilometers in diameter. So it's something like the size of a city. It's falling towards the sun at about 15 kilometers a second, about 10 miles per second. But it's still about 600 million miles from the sun, so it has a long way to go. It will actually pick up speed as it comes in.
And according to the mythology of many cultures, comets like the one expected here in 1997 are the most likely to cause troubling events as they pass over Earth.
There are some connections.
I mean, let's be real. If you back in the day, and you're in the peasant times, and a gigantic ball of fucking fire is visible in the sky, they have no frame of reference for what the fuck is going on. Of course weird people are going to act weird because there's a huge fucking ball of fire in the sky. Like, I don't think we should read too much into their, I think everybody would act weird. We would act weird if there was like a visible thing that we didn't know what the fuck it was coming toward our planet.
Between comets and catastrophic Earth events, there was a really long, hot summer and drought in the eastern United States in 1762. It was thought a comet predicted this. And once again, there was a comet just before an incredible earthquake in 1811 that actually sank New Madrid, Mississippi.
I think the show ends in 1996. But I think they have they touched on Y2K? I feel like they have, but it's been in pretty short segments.
In fact, that same 1811 comet coincided with Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo. Civilizations have looked to the sky for centuries, and the ancient Greeks even established guidelines for how comets would affect our planet.
Ptolemy in the 2nd century wrote that the size...
We're still in the peasant times. Well, at least we know what a comet is now. Like, if you have no idea what something is, I just feel like, of course you're going to fucking freak out. Of course, if a giant ball of fire is heading toward you, you're going to think like, man, I fucked up. Especially if you have like a really heavy religious system where you believe that, like, how you treat people or how many sacrifices you make dictate the crops. I mean, you'd probably put a lot of stock into a giant fireball.
The size of the comet will tell the comet's meaning. The color of the comet will tell what kind of problem it will bring. Wind, rain, drought,
Pleasant
whatever.
times.
And where in the zodiac the comet was tells which country is going to be affected.
Although scientists have yet to determine the color of Hale-Bopp or its place in the zodiac, there is no question that its size is colossal. A fact that Ptolemy would say spells disaster for those who will cross the comet's path.
Once Comet Hale-Bopp passes over the Earth, those with cometophobia, that's the clinical term for the fear of comets, can breathe a long sigh of relief. The comet is not expected back for another 3,000 years.
Yeah, see, that sucks. Sawyer still goes live, and like he's depressed that he missed the ride. Like he can't. It's not like it's not like he can maybe squeak in if he makes it till he's like super old. I mean, it's never, it's thousands of years. He missed his chance.
Normal experience, please write to us at Sightings. Sightings can also be contacted at America Online at keyword Sightings. At the Sightings forum, download
Don't talk
images,
about Columbus,
sounds,
G
and
things. We'll
QuickTime
start
clips.
talking about land
Also,
back
join us
and
daily in our chat room,
colonialism.
live on AOL.
Until
For
next time, remember,
colonization.
no mystery is closed to an open mind. For Sightings, I'm Tim White.
Henry Winkler, baby.
On this edition of Sightings. In October of 1967, something strange crashed into the water at Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia.
There's more than we know about, or will ever know about.
Now, almost 30 years later,
Imagine taking a trad girl down to Shag Harbor.
Sightings mounts a salvage operation to search for answers. As the death toll mounts, many Hawaiians are saying it's the gods themselves who are trying to stop the island's newest freeway.
The spirits are angry and they take it out on humans. And I believe we'll see many, many accidents and disasters in that freeway.
The paranormal activity in this house has forced its residents to flee in terror.
In all fairness, I could not leave those families there in that house.
And was it a miracle that helped this fireman keep his cool in a blazing inferno?
Looks like a good episode. Have you guys ever seen that? And I'm not trying, this is not a political discussion, but have you guys ever seen that movie called The Trump Prophecy? It's about a fireman who has a vision of Donald Trump becoming president. And I don't really remember how it works out, how they made a movie around it. But he starts to have these like vivid fever dream nightmares where it's him fighting against like fire demons and shit. But it's a completely serious like family film. But it's a really wild movie if you haven't seen it. And it's supposedly based on a true story.
Welcome to Sightings. I'm Tim White. Recently, Sightings brought you the story of an apparent UFO crash in Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia.
Well, and also Sawyer, the only reason that he's alive is because he's a gooner. Like, he would have went with them. He admits openly that he would have taken whatever, that he would have eaten the poison. So, but because he was a gooner, Marshall Applewhite kept booting him, and eventually he just realized that like he couldn't stop gooning.
In southeastern Canada, a significant government paper trail reveals startling evidence that there may
Many
be
accidents on a freeway,
extraterrestrial
yeah.
debris hidden at the bottom of the shallow harbor. With Canadian investigator Chris Stiles, Sightings is launching its first UFO recovery operation.
Shag Harbor,
Fenway
at
Park.
the southern tip of the Canadian province.
You should cut a promo, don't mention any names, but you should cut a promo about people who know they're Red Sox fans but are too scared to admit it.
Province of Nova Scotia has changed little in the last 100 years. Generation after generation here have earned their living from the sea. hauling lobster and cod out of the icy waters of the Atlantic Ocean. And Shag Harbor would have remained an obscure northern outpost if it had not been.
Yeah, because you weren't allowed in Heaven's Gate to masturbate. That was kind of the point of it for Marshall Applewhite, because he was gay, but he hated the fact that he was gay. And so he built, like, he and that woman built the religion around being, like, you know, genderless, sexless. But he himself kept being tempted with people, but then also Sawyer kept jacking off, and so eventually it became like a problem that they had to confront, and Sawyer left, and that's why he's alive.
And for one strange night in 1967. There was a bright light, an enormous crash, and an unprecedented joint mobilization of Canadian and American government forces.
Exactly what hit the water in Shag Harbor, I'm not sure of. But whatever it was tracked for a great distance. It wasn't.
Is this Michael Chiklis from The Shield?
In trouble.
This man is a member of the Canadian Armed Forces with the
This man is King TL.
Security clearance above top secret. He was part of the original Shag Harbor strike force and spoke exclusively with Sightings about what the military knew.
It had entered the high atmosphere over northeastern Siberia. I was told that it hit the water, crash landed, and had actually moved underwater. This thing was not only aerodynamic, but hydrodynamic also. It had the capacity to travel in two mediums.
Many saw it from a distance. It was a moonless night, and they weren't quite sure what it was they were seeing, but all were sure that indeed a large object had dropped out of the sky and hit the surface of the water.
This guy looks like a Jack Talcott panelist.
UFO investigator Chris Stiles has spent several years tracking the Shag Harbor paper trail and interviewing eyewitnesses, including Lawrence Smith, the captain of the first civilian boat to arrive at the crash site. Smith remembers seeing a strange, thick foam floating above where the UFO sank.
Maybe the military is hiding something that they don't want us to know about. I don't believe that they want to talk about it. There's more than we know about or will ever know about.
Stiles' relentless pursuit of information recently turned up new proof that American interest in the Shag Harbor UFO investigation extended to the highest levels of the U.S. military.
One interesting document on Shag Harbor that's recently come to our attention is the APRO document. APRO, which is an acronym.
How many bad decisions could have been undone if someone would have just gooned first and went in with clarity?
For the Aerial Phenomena Research Organization, it says quite clearly that at the time of the Shag Harbor event, there was a U.S. air photo reconnaissance mission in the area at high altitude. An hour later, after the event, we have a strategic air command operation in the area.
According to members of the Canadian military who wish to remain anonymous, the UFO was amphibious. After crashing into the waters of Shag Harbor, the craft continued to move underwater toward a top-secret military.
These graphics are so awesome. I gotta see them again.
According to members of the Canadian military who wish to remain anonymous, the UFO was amphibious. After crashing into the waters of Shag Harbor, the craft continued to move underwater toward a top-secret military installation off Government Point in Shelburne. It touched off a major security alert.
Near where the UFO had moved, there was a top-secret listening post for submarine detection, part of a net. And this thing almost moved over top of their cable.
This object was resting on what is known as the MAD grid. That's an acronym which stands for Magnetic Anomaly Detection, part of the base's function. Certainly, one can imagine the concerns ran high during this period to find that an unknown object was literally a few miles from the location of this base, which was tasked with such an important job in North American defense.
Substantiation of the claim that the UFO did not sink in Shag Harbor can also be found in the APRO document. It states that shortly after the UFO impact, Maritime Command received a report from the Coast Guard cutter Sir William Alexander, stating that, quote, an object shaped like a torpedo was observed going along the surface, emitting flames and...
But the object that we saw in the simulation was not shaped like a torpedo, right?
Smoke at 44 degrees 23 minutes north latitude, 64 degrees 9 minutes west longitude. Maritime Command ordered an immediate search and recovery operation.
The Navy did have a strong expectation of finding artifacts.
The way
Oh
that
my
the
God.
UFO hit the wall.
Hold on. Oh, wow. Bob Brown. A golden wow, we get it. Wow, that's crazy, dude. Thank you, man. 1,000 joules, bro. Thank you, man. That's very generous, Bob Brown. We even got 2 loops with the plane. That stuff is so bizarre. Thank you, though, Bob. I sincerely appreciate it, man. That's very generous.
Water, it is possible something sheared off. If there were any debris,
I'm like a ADHD with those things. I have to I really get into them. Thank you, though, Bob.
found by the divers in Shag Harbor, that would have been the highest security issue on the East Coast at that time.
Officially, Maritime Command reports that Navy divers came up empty-handed. But local
What's a
fisherman Donald
decoy ship?
Nickerson was there during the recovery operation
What's a decoy ship, Virginia? I don't know what that is.
and observed something being hauled out of the
Yeah,
water.
that was wild as hell.
Yeah, when we got there, they kind of acted like they
Oh,
didn't
man,
want it.
Donald Nickerson is here.
Seemed like it was secret. When the divers come up, there was 2 divers swimming with a medal, and then they passed it up aboard the boat to the guys aboard the boat. It was a piece of aluminum, or it looked like a piece of aluminum to us. It looked like it
Fox
was
Hill Marine Wipes.
been up some.
It is Chris Stiles' hope that the government divers didn't get everything, that there may still be UFO debris at the bottom of Shag Harbor. Working with Sightings, Stiles has assembled a top-flight search and recovery team, including technicians from Canadian Seabed Research Incorporated,
Man, that was
professional
crazy.
divers,
Those things are
and
crazy.
camera operators. State-of-the-art technology, including side-scan sonar, will be used to see through the murky water and paint a perfect picture of the ocean floor. On board, researchers will study the images, trying to
You joined Emacs Patreon? What tier? Oh, they were like a distraction ship. I gotcha.
determine potential impact patterns, as well as pieces of wreckage that may have resisted 28 years
That
of
lobster
ocean
was like,
impact
"I'm
patterns, as well as pieces of wreckage that may have resisted 28 years of ocean currents.
For instance, this target here has quite a high shadow behind it.
Air support assists the team in pinpointing the UFO impact site, as described in the APRO document.
Roger, Survey 1, standing by.
Almost immediately, sonar readings indicate the team has a hit.
Bridge, it's the survey control. We have the target.
Chris Stiles is cautiously optimistic. The recovery team
$3.
realizes that this target is more likely to be a submerged rock formation
What are the other benefits? Does he still have the phone call tier up?
than a UFO. But the search has only...
Oh my God, an Unk alert? Holy cow. Those things are... I wonder if I could... Thank you, Virginia. I really appreciate that. 440 joules, damn, for the Unk alert. Thank you. I appreciate that. I wonder if I could do like a less resource-intensive version of Stream Alerts or whatever. I don't even know what I think it was Streamlabs when I used it last time, but I wonder if we could only put those on screen. I wonder if that would be like less like computer intensive or if it really doesn't matter.
Just begun.
Thank you, Virginia.
The first signs from...
I talked to Buffalo Beth about Cody's comments about her, and then she likes to send me... Well, she made a community post about it. She sent me like 36 consecutive voice messages and then sent it to her mom and showed her, and her mom said that she thought that I was probably disappointed that Beth got out because I was looking forward to a break.
Shag Harbor are encouraging. Stiles and the salvage crew continue to scan the area, and we'll bring you their complete underwater survey on the next edition of Sightings.
Wait, you don't think if you send him the $3 that he'll... I would just clear up with him in advance, like, if I pay the $3, do I get to ask... Because he said he'll answer them in the video, right? So I think he just needs to establish how many questions do you get for $3, and then if he doesn't live up to it, just, request a refund.
Next, out of air and surrounded by flames, Kenneth Carter needed a miracle to survive.
I said, if you're here to help me, then he showed me the way out. Now.
Yeah, her mom told her that she made a post. You can see the text. Yeah, that I was probably disheartened that she was released because I needed a break from her.
Few letters from Sightings viewers have touched us the way that Kenny Carter's letter did. He wrote to us about a deeply personal encounter with the supernatural. I was a firefighter, Kenny's letter begins. During the first few years, I never really came close to death, although some of the guys did. Then, in 1970...
Well, are you going to do it, Cody? Are you going to pay the $3? I'll pay the $3 if you're not going to. See, now that's, yeah, I agree with that. He needs to clarify. I picked up on that as well. Like, yeah, if you paid the $3, you've paid for the whole month. So he needs to answer the question. He just needs to say how many questions he'll answer.
70, death called me.
There's no person on this earth, I think, that could ever tell me that it was all, you know, in your mind.
No, I wouldn't buy a shirtless Tim White poster. That'd be disturbing. What would you want to ask him, though? We'd have to decide as a chat what question we wanted to ask him for $3.
You didn't see anything. You didn't experience anything. I know what I saw.
Kenneth Carter has seen things most people hope they'd never see. As a veteran firefighter, Ken has faced more than his share of disasters and grief.
Man, back in the day, you could just go on TV, you could do whatever you wanted to do. They could show your fucking house. They could show your house number, the town you live in. And, like, nobody cared. Nobody was, like, fucking snooping and everything.
Hope they'd never see. As a veteran firefighter, Ken has faced more than his share of disasters and grief. He has also faced death, an experience that continues to haunt him even after more than 25 years.
I was at a point where this was probably gonna, you know, be my last fire. I was probably gonna die.
I don't know for sure, but I think he answered that, at least partially. He said that he was putting the wrong contact information down, so that whenever they would try to get a hold of him, they, you know, it was going to the wrong place.
January 12th, 1970, started out like any other for Ken Carter, a young firefighter on duty at the Hialeah Fire Department just outside Miami, Florida.
We were all just sitting around relaxing after we cleaned up the kitchen and everything.
Going off from the scene at 1824 West 4 Avenue, Pandora's box. He spots smoke coming from the windows and doors.
10-4, have units en route.
You want Luke West to interview Eric McHenry. Why don't we? What sense does that make?
Having a lot of fires that particular month. The fire...
He doesn't know. They don't know anything about each other. That'd be the worst. Plus, why would you want one of them to interview their own? Like, that doesn't... You want an outside perspective to interview them.
That we had in the evening hours of January 12th was at a building called Pandora's Box. There's always fear involved. Not knowing every building is different, every fire is different.
The aptly named Pandora's Box was a local bar and discotheque. Once on the scene, Ken and his partner lost no time in entering the inferno.
We were confronted with heavy smoke. We
need a Shira interview of Eric McHenry.
Very, very hot inside already, in open flames.
Soon, the thick smoke and intense heat forced Ken's partner to retreat. Ken chose to stay inside.
I kept on fighting the fire and...
I mean, it would just be a waste of time. I would be able to get a few views out of restreaming it, but it would just be pointless because they're both extremely self-focused and don't really know anything about each other's lore.
Knock down as much fire as I possibly could. And the opportunity was there to do as much as I could until he got back or the backup crew came in. But that didn't happen. I heard a warning signal go off. The warning signal was hooked to our...
Flora would be okay.
Then you only have approximately 4 minutes.
But again, she doesn't know. She wouldn't even know what to ask. But that could be better because we might actually gain more insight from someone doing a real interview as opposed to asking like the incisive questions that we have. You know what I mean? Maybe if we can learn more about Eric in a general aggregate, it would help us fill in some of these obscure aspects, you know.
Air left in your tank. At that point, I said, well, it is time to leave the building. I turned around, I picked up the hose.
Does Flora speak? Oh, yeah. But she does do a lot of like silent or ASMR stuff as well.
Like you're supposed to do, and I attempted to follow it out of the building. And I kept following the hose, and every few feet I run across another section of hose, like it was twisted like spaghetti laying there. And when I started to draw down on my air tank, my mask started to collapse on my face, and I knew at that point that I was out of air. So I removed my mask and was confused, started to become disoriented. I realized that I was going to have to do something very, very drastic or very, very lucky to get out of this building. I knew that I couldn't follow the hose out. I saw no lights that I could, orientate myself to get out of the building. And this is when I decided, well, maybe this is it for me. Maybe this is my final fire. Maybe this is when I meet my last alarm.
Like, I hate to say it, but I feel like you guys would probably be disappointed, like some people were with the Ben interview, with my EMAC interview, because I probably wouldn't ask him the things I would want to know, because I would assume maybe that it could be I would only get one shot at it, so I would want to cover like some of the basic motivations behind what he does and try to draw out, like, not focus so much on the weird stuff, especially in the first interview, but just try to get a look into like his mental process, what is his day like, that kind of stuff. And I feel like that might not be the stuff people want to see.
I was starting to cough and gag. What I decided to do at that point was just settle up my life, I guess. And I knelt down and I asked for some type of divine intervention. Across the room, I just saw something out of...
I'd like to ask him how he would feel if he, for one reason or another, missed a day. Like, being as far into it as he is and it being so important to him that he hasn't missed a day. Like, what would he do if he missed a day? Would he just give up? Would he be done then? Or would he just start over again?
The corner of my eye. It was like a blue light, a light blue light. It grew larger and it started to take the shape of a young lady. And bathed in still the blue light. Her clothes was like a long billowing type veils. And a very peaceful, very serene look on her face. Of course, I was startled and thinking, well, maybe I've already died, and this is the after-death experience that people have explained to me over the years that they've gone through, and it's time for...
I don't know, man. Ruby demodded me. I mean, she seems friendly to me, but I don't know. I think she might still have like residual feelings that I'm like I'm a Grace loyalist, and that I would, but I genuinely would not make it. It would not be a problematic interview. I would just want to talk about the experience of it and not really get into a lot of the sordid details. There aren't a lot of secrets around it, as far as everything that happened. So I would just like to get her perspective on what it was like experiencing it live and stuff. But I don't know. Her chat hates me. Her mods hate me. I don't know if that's going to happen.
For me to offer myself up. And at that point, I looked her right in the face and I said, if you're here to take me, then I'm ready to go. I said, but if you're here to help me...
You got it, G. Thanks. Because ultimately, in an interview, not in a debate, but in an interview, the focus should be on the subject and learning as much as possible about the subject. And if you happen to be an interviewer who can get a subject to be honest and open, then I think it is the best way to go about it, to let them, to just be there for like, bumpers on the bowling alley, just to be there, just to make sure if it bounces too far away from where you want it to go, that you can kind of push it back, but let them maintain, pretty much like control the conversation.
And then show me the way out, please, now. And at that point, I mean, she never changed her expression or anything on her face, but she did lift...
Oh, she demodded me over low. I don't care. I'm not going to sweep for boring people. I don't care. And if it really upset anybody that I don't like a streamer, like, I didn't say anything bad about her. I just said I don't like watching her.
Her arm, and she pointed. I got up off my knees.
But I believe it. Her chat is like super sweep for low.
She had pointed. I had no idea where I was headed. When I got to the point where she had pointed, I felt nothing but wall. But when I pushed on this...
I think I could get a good interview with Ruby over it. Ananje. I don't think we would find anything new out, but I think we could get Ruby, like, we could get a concrete version of her story on the record. And there are some things I'd like to have a conversation with her about the black eye. I'd like to go into more depth on that. And again, maybe because I'm not coming in, and hopefully she would view me like the way that it is, which is I'm not coming in to expose anybody or trying to change anybody's mind, but like, I just want to, it's something that you can sit down and watch, and from start to finish, all in her words of her experience with it, instead of having to piece it together from 50,000 different podcasts that answered like one question a piece, or not podcast, but like, you know, panel, whatever, open
Section where I was
panels.
standing, a door opened, and I fell out into the parking lot.
All right, see you later, Virginia.
Later that same night, after the fire had been knocked down, Ken went back into the building in search of an explanation for his vision.
I visually just scanned.
Kinetic Kel is not boring. Kinetic Kel is an absolute degenerate who provides great content, but she's like Jekyll and Hyde. She's embarrassed of that side of herself, so she tries to be like the positive, girly pop nonsense, which is okay sometimes. Her gentle energy is okay, but she's definitely not boring. You just have to wait for her to turn. You know what I mean?
In the room, and everything within my view was pretty good.
JF, is that comment directed toward me? I think you're right, though. Yeah, being like big in, being a big name in like the Thorpiverse, and then thinking that like means that you're, you know, a big name in the larger space or whatever.
Distance away, except for one post that was in the middle of the room.
Ruby is Boyd. She is stuck in Boyd. She's intentionally in Boyd. Her views are Boyd. Her collaborators are all Boyd. How you can be rich and be in the Boyd. She's still asking for money, so it's not like her financial windfall changed the stream experience or anything.
And I walked over to the post and I said, well, this
Kinetic
is
Kel's
what I had
annoying.
to say.
That I can agree with. That I can understand if you find her to be annoying.
You know, with blue lights on it.
The issue with Kel is she got in right away with Ruby, and like she's been like, she's just basically mirroring Ruby as far as how her chat operates, or you know, how who she chooses as moderators and stuff like that.
You know, still trying to, I think, deny a little bit, you know, this whole incident. When I examined the post, I had removed my glove to do so. I don't know why, because everything inside of this building was still extremely hot. But when I touched the post was cold. And as I touched the post, like a blue tinge.
It is very easy though, JF, and I'm not sweeping for anybody, but it is like if you really don't, if you're just kind of a, you know, regular low-key person in real life, and that's something that you really want, that like, you know, notoriety or a little bit of fame, and you do have like a community of people that are always interested in what you're doing to some level, I can kind of see how people get swept up into it.
Started to encircle my hand.
Not to the levels, though, that we see displayed sometimes.
And I knew then that this was totally a true incident that happened to me. And this is when I, you know, really decided it's time to thank somebody.
Fire Marshal Robert Stedman, recovering from throat surgery, still remembers his reaction to Ken's amazing story.
I confronted Kenny. Kenny, you told me at that fire you were let out of there. What do you mean let out? And he told me, yes, Bob. I was let out by my
So this guy's a fellow fireman.
angel. Since then, I believe that he was let out by an angel.
Author and researcher Alma Daniel finds Ken Carter's encounter typical of those who have been touched by an angelic experience.
An angel
You
cannot
can see
interfere
all
with
that
your
on her
free will or your
content.
destiny, but if it is not your time to go, the angel will definitely guide you through whatever situation, whatever traumatic moment that you are in, whatever danger you may be in. We'll make sure that
This is a great hair. I just keep thinking of it as like the Quaker Oats guy.
you get out.
For other firefighters who regularly face life or death situations, reports of divine interventions are not uncommon.
You know, you go out on every call, and after it's over, you kind of stand back and you look and say, well, you know, how did we come through this in one piece? And in the back of your mind, you know, the whole time you got somebody looking after you. There's no doubt about it.
I think we definitely have got someone looking after us.
We have guardian angels out there looking after us.
If you have not fulfilled your purpose on this planet, if you still have a contribution to make, the angel will be there and make sure that you get through.
Give me a break. What an asshole thing to say. So everybody that died was just done? They had nothing left to offer the world? Come on, lady.
Soon after the fire at Pandora's Box, Ken Carter transferred to Hialeah's emergency rescue team. He has spent a quarter century saving the lives of others.
It's a terrific job. You can help so many people through so many situations. Saving a life there's nothing in this world.
People like to talk about them, ATF.
That compares to nothing.
People get thousands of views on their live streams. They make tons of money talking about these people, and there's a huge market of people who want to talk about them. Just be glad you don't have to watch them and talk about them.
And I still see her vision.
You're only half suffering. Look at the bright side.
Every now and then, I still picture her, even today. I get chilled.
You can see her butthole in the videos. ATF.
Kenneth Carter is only one of a number of firefighters who believe that they have been saved by an angel. In fact, the blue glow that Carter describes is a common vision among firefighters who've narrowly escaped death while saving others.
Next, NASA technology uncovers lost civilizations. And ancient Chinese philosophy helps home sales. Later, the curse of Hawaii's H3.
I think ATF doesn't think there's any, like, maybe you're surprised by how much demand there are for these people, but like there's an entire ecosystem built around them that's like multi-layers deep, man.
Here are some of the stories Sightings is following in the news. The southwest corner of the Arabian Peninsula is so devoid of life it's called the Empty Quarter. Well, now satellite imaging from NASA has found a city in the Empty Quarter, unseen for 2,000 years.
I'm not delusional. That's what I'm saying. Like, you should be glad that I don't do that. Like, there is the market there to do like daily recaps of what everybody in that sector did. Like, multiple streamers do that as their sole content and are very, for Boit levels, are very successful.
In Oman, the city of Ubar was known only through ancient legend and fable, until NASA imaging radar proved that this was one mythical city that was not a myth. Ubar was uncovered 4 years ago by amateur archaeologist Nicholas Clapp.
We started out with the space shuttle on the Space Shuttle Challenger in
Whoa, he's got the Jin thing back there.
October 1984, and we had 2 passes over our site that actually gave us the very first map of the area.
Lawrence of Arabia called Ubar the Atlantis of the Sands, a lost city that could never be found.
Hold on a second.
But in 1991, ancient caravan roads were detected in these satellite photographs, and all roads led to Ubar.
All of a sudden we realized that what we saw on the surface was just the tip of the iceberg, that there was a large fortress with 9 towers, and 3,000 years ago, it would have been a pretty significant outpost of civilization.
While brand new radar imaging of the oceans has failed to turn up Atlantis yet, several other mythical cities on land have been discovered.
It's making a real dent in Central American archaeology, where it cuts all the way through the foliage, and you can see what's down in ground level. And there's some real abiding myths out there. Obviously, Sodom and Gomorrah, there's 3 or 4 Islamic myths, and I think sooner or later, things like that are going to be solved.
In the capital city of Bamako, in Mali, a recent resurgence in traditional medicine, faith healing, and sorcery had mainstream doctors worried. But now, a study by the government's health department has found that many ancient herbal cures are as good as, if not superior to, imported
the
Western
world.
medicines.
What's just going on with Jeremy today?
80% of Mali's 10 million people
I can't
rely
find
on
my
genes,
gin bottle. I
roots,
don't know
and
where it is.
ritual to successfully treat coughs and colds, ulcers, and even malaria.
You guys remember that time I went to the gas station at night, and then I ended up meeting up with a antiquities dealer and got that red gin bottle.
And at the same time, many Malis are also rediscovering the ancient African tradition of juju, in which sacred animal parts are solemnly administered to patients complaining of everything from heart ailments to an unsatisfactory love life. Studies done here could mean that the medicine of the future will include not only herbs,
I also
but
found a
desiccated
Mountain Dew
bird parts,
voltage.
mammal urine, and lizard blood. In Southern California's sprawling suburbs, progressive builders are now designing new homes based on architectural principles that date back more than 1,000 years. It's the Chinese design principle called feng shui.
Feng Shui literally is translated into wind and water.
Marcia Galanco.
And they are the natural elements in our environment. And the biggest concept...
I haven't seen any 304s at the gas station. I haven't seen any... Yeah, there's normally at least a couple of them, but yeah, there hasn't been hardly anybody there recently. Could be because they stopped carrying White Claws.
But Feng Shui is about the balance in life.
Marcia Galanco, a feng shui consultant, advises builders that a harmonious environment begins with the site. Homes should be built on a gentle hill, never on flat land.
The rationale behind is the flow of the qi, which is a life force, and it's believed that positive energy flows on a gentle curved surface, and a negative qi flows on a straight line.
Galanco warns builders that potential buyers immigrating from the Pacific Rim prefer the positive number 8 instead of the negative number 4 over the front door, and they will avoid homes where the staircase faces the front door.
There is a cultural belief that the staircase that's facing the door, that all the good things flows out of the home into the street. So when people are looking for homes, they would choose not to have the staircase facing the front door.
Although most builders who consult with Galanco are looking initially for ways to increase home sales in Asian communities, they are finding that the...
No, absolutely not. With that haircut. Is there a literal purpose that you wouldn't want the staircase, like, I don't mean literal, but like practical reason that you wouldn't want the staircase to face the same direction as the front door?
Application of ancient feng shui principles is benefiting home sales in all areas.
When we first started this design process, the whole concept of feng shui was unconventional to us. We maybe questioned a little bit, but once we incorporated in the design, we had very positive comments about our homes, and our home sales have picked up.
Feng Shui is not just superstition. It's not just a cultural belief. It's actually a very wise concept about the quality of our lives. And anybody can actually use it to bring out the goodness in them and to make wise choices.
We'll have more stories from the news next time. Now, here's what's coming up on Sightings.
There's trouble in paradise as deadly accidents plague Hawaii's haunted highway.
The Hawaiian gods have a
What's
way
a shotgun
of taking
hallway?
care of their own.
Is the Roswell autopsy footage a hoax?
Later, fallout from the so-called alien autopsy film.
Well, I'll be back this afternoon for Intoxicated Women. I'm not going to get drunk, but I got a few malt beverages.
When Hawaii
You think they should put the Doll King on Ancient Aliens? Why not?
became our 50th state in 1959, the government vowed to protect and
What's up,
preserve
sad
the
dude?
ancient traditions of this island paradise. But time, a population boom, and the inexorable march of commerce are changing the face of Hawaii
What's wrong with a decorative ladder? I don't see the point. I don't see the problem.
and its culture. And this, say many Hawaiians, has made the gods very angry. Carla Wall reports.
Oh, can shoot from door to door. Okay.
On the island of Oahu, the tropical landscape has had to make way for vacationers and the high-rise resorts that line Waikiki Beach. And just outside of
No, I guess you could probably get methadone body cam footage, but no, she's not in this episode.
Honolulu, a lush and sacred valley, has been forced to make way for this. Once completed, the H3 freeway will connect Pearl Harbor with the Kaneohe Marine Base. The road bisects the Halava Valley, a sacred and kingly Hawaiian burial site filled with ancient shrines.
I believe that the Hawaiian gods will take care of those who are responsible for this freeway, and that we're going to see them meet up with very unexpected and nasty ends.
Lili'Kalaka Me'elahiva is an associate professor at the State University Center for Hawaiian Studies. She's done extensive research into the history and culture of the Halava Valley. She warns that by building here, the Highway Department has unwittingly released a curse on the H3 project.
See, okay, if you don't think they should tear the land up, I get that totally. But like making your case for it by saying that it's going to upset the spirits sounds like a Brady Bunch episode. Like use the real cultural reasons, like the tangible cultural reasons, like that there are burial grounds and that land was used for this or that or whatever. I just think you really, whether you truly believe it or not, you just hurt your case when you say like, oh, we can't put this highway up because it'll upset the spirits or whatever. I don't think most people care about the spirits, but you might be able to make them, at least some of them, care about, like, if you show the cultural value of the land.
When bones are unearthed and destroyed, what happens in the Hawaiian culture, belief system?
When you disturb the bones, you're disturbing the spirit. The spirits are angry and they're walking the land angry, then they take it out on humans. And I believe we'll see many, many accidents and disasters on that freeway. We've already seen quite a number of freak accidents that have happened with the construction of the freeway.
In fact, Interstate H3 has been plagued by disaster. 20 years behind schedule and almost $1 billion over budget, critics charge the highway is the greatest boondoggle in the...
Yeah, like these are valid things to criticize, right? You're $1 billion over budget, you're running behind, the work is shoddy, versus like, the volcano god will erupt in anger if we build this highway.
State's history. 2 construction workers have died working on H3, and there are numerous reports of freak accidents, equipment failures, and haunting
Girl
apparitions.
macadamia.
It was in
1990. Well, what's his name? He literally owns an entire one of the Hawaiian Islands, right? Ellison?
That archaeologists surveying the area for the State Highway Department discovered several ancient sites of rare and powerful significance. Earl Neller is a state archaeologist and cultural historian studying the Halava Valley. How significant are the sites that the highway is cutting through?
The valley that was chosen for the project is probably the valley with the most sites. And not only did it have a lot of sites,
the spirits.
The archaeological sites in Halava are quite unusual.
One of the most important sites is this women's shrine called a heiau. These rocks and stone terraces are sacred to the people of Hawaii because it is here, legend says, that Hawaii's Earth Mother was born.
They discovered that these petroglyphs were underneath the moss, and they scraped some of the moss off so they could be easier to see. And one of the figures is a childbirth petroglyph with a figure with a dot between the legs.
Well, maybe it's childbirth. It might be somebody dropping off a Russo.
It is the women of Hawaii who are protesting most strongly against what they perceive as the desecration of a holy
Hawaiian
place.
Punch.
Weekend after weekend, without any publicity.
Have you tried to drink Hawaiian Punch recently? Like, it tastes so much different than when I was a kid.
Started hiking up in the valley to see this site. They wanted to find out what it was all about.
I traveled to the site with several Hawaiian women and asked them about the supernatural forces at work here.
Yeah, like, okay, I like the fact that they had it blocked off and it was like this land is for, cultural uses only. That is a much stronger thing to state as your case, I think. Like, look, we're not just coming around because something's going on. Like, we've been here, we've been protecting it, we've been, whatever.
It brings the people that are supposed to be here, sometimes even against their
island trad
will. People that are supposed to be here, they're supposed to take care of this place. They just have to do it.
You feel that you're called here?
Yeah. I think that all of us.
Oh, I just said that that's an extremely effective way of interviewing someone if you have a person that's willing to be open and honest, and then it's the interview pretty much runs itself.
Who come here and take care of this place are called here.
Laulani is one of many young Hawaiians who...
The more the interviewer talks, like, the less information you get out of the subject.
...feel that in order to protect and preserve the old ways, they must protect and preserve the valley.
To us, to whom this valley speaks, this is a cathedral. This is a sacred place, and, there's no value that you can put on it. There's something that's here, and right now, there's a strong voice.
What question am I supposed to answer? I answered that like literally an hour ago, I think. What are you talking about?
It's crying out because it's being hurt.
To protect the hate.
Let's not besmirch this woman who has exotic beauty and compare her to a e-girl.
Now, in several sacred burial sites in the valley, protesters have tried to disrupt construction, but the trucks continue to roll, seemingly unconcerned about warnings that ancient spirits inside the valley have now joined the fight. Filmmaker Naomi Sodatani is producing a documentary about the ill-fated highway project and the eerie effect this...
Yeah, but I mean, he does that on their comment sections as well. You know what I mean? So it's not like that's something he's doing exclusively here. He's just interacting with them like he would anywhere else. I mean, you're extremely hostile to certain people in the chat, including someone very high up the food chain at Fusion Studios, but you're not punished for that.
This valley has had on many workers.
What if Bethadone was like, oh, I want to come in and chat with you and everybody, but I can't because Cody Turbo's mean to me and I can't handle that. Come on.
Their construction workers and subcontractors have witnessed
Naomi Sodatani.
Equipment moving without operators being in them and then stopping and starting, and they've seen presences. And a good many of them have actually quit.
Discussing the so-called curse of H3 isn't against the law, but Sightings found one highway opponent who'd discuss construction experiences only if we guaranteed anonymity.
They were working near the entrance to the tunnel, and they looked towards the back. It seemed to be a ghost walking toward them of an old Hawaiian man dressed in white mamo. They were so terrified they ran from the tunnel, and a Hawaiian priest was brought in to bless the area.
I'm not saying it's free reign to say whatever you want to or whatever. I mean, but you can't expect to be part of things and put yourself out there and not be open to at least reasonable, criticism. Or if it, the heathen loves to argue with people. He came in here looking for it's me. Plus, when you have certain people working behind the scenes in comment sections trying to turn the screws on people to increase their aggression and hostility, that can cause problems too, Cody Turbo.
Because they were frightened to work there.
And the curse of H3 didn't end there.
They were doing work at the back of the valley. And
ancient spirits,
they had
true.
loaded up a dump truck with huge boulders from out of the side of a mountain. And all of a sudden, the truck overturned onto the side of the road, and the driver ran back to get help. When they got back to the truck, the boulders had returned to the mountain. They were not in the truck at all.
She also learned of numerous unexplained equipment failures.
Brand new equipment purchased for the project.
Yes, heathen came in
here. Valley. It would start working. All of a sudden, it would get into a certain area, and it would stop. And no matter what mechanics they brought in, they couldn't get it started again. They'd have to tow it out of the valley, and when they towed it out, it started up again. There were also stories of equipment that burst into flames. There's something going on that I can't explain.
But cultural historians say the answer is quite simple.
Putting a freeway through Halava is very akin to putting a freeway through Machu Picchu. The land, especially there in Halava, is sacred. When we go there and we look at the beauty of the land and the beauty of those temples, we are touched in our heart to have such disregard.
When did he cry foul or play victim? I don't get. You came in and attacked him over an issue that was resolved, and he got time. One of the very few timeouts on this channel he received for the behavior, and then we resolved it, and then we've moved on. You brought up something from a year ago. How is that not instigating?
For our traditions and our beliefs is really a stab in the heart of the Hawaiian people.
When H3 is completed, will you travel on H3? Do you think it will be dangerous for other people to travel on H3?
I will never travel on H3 ever, no matter what. And I don't think that there are too many Hawaiians that are going to be eager to travel on the freeway either. I suspect that we're going to see a lot of accidents happening right where the most sacred sites are. And I would just like to warn those.
I heard that since they put the freeways in, car accidents have gone up by like 10,000%.
And unknowing travelers, that they take their life in their hands. And that's because the Hawaiian gods have a way of taking care of their own.
Hawaii Senator Daniel Inouye.
Well, yours was unjust, ATF, because even the moderator, after the fact, like the other person, I think they just were trying to be as neutral as possible, so they timed out both people. But really, only the other guy should have been timed out, and then you handled it with, poise and grace, and that guy, remember, crashed out about it.
One of H3's earliest proponents, and he continues to champion the controversial project. Sightings has made several requests for an interview with Senator Inouye, but our requests were declined.
Next,
you're in a YouTube chat room, Cody Turbo. Of course, not everyone's operating on the same level of whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, 989 Sports.
Civil War spirits forcing the residents of this home to flee in terror.
I says, I want y'all to pray in this house because
Hell
what
yeah.
I just saw was spiritual warfare.
Three years ago, Jean Davis and her son, Gary McCoy, decided to open their hearts and their Atlanta home to women in need. And until...
Well, yeah, and then they got mad about it, and they were saying you were being racist, and then later on in the thing, they started talking about big booty Latinas, and I think that the hypocrisy of still calling you out for it while he kept talking about big Latina asses throughout the thing irritated the moderator.
Recently, Jean and Gary were able to provide shelter and job training for dozens of homeless women. But now that's all changed. There's an unwelcome visitor in the house, a visitor they believe is not of this world.
I get a tremendous fear all over my body. My heart beats faster. I feel like I want to pass out. It's a feeling like something is enclosed around me. It's just a feeling of evilness.
The sense of evil.
No, but one of the moderators that was not Cody Turbo timed out ATF and 989 Sports over the incident.
So many people have experienced here is so strong that homeless women and children desperate for a house, any house, will not stay in this house.
In all fairness, I could not leave those families.
No, he kept talking about the asses.
Jean Davis bought this Atlanta, Georgia house in 1992. She wanted to make a difference in the lives of families who needed job training, counseling, and a safe place to stay. But almost immediately, what Jean had hoped would be a sanctuary became a center of fear and anxiety, where residents and personnel alike reported disturbing visions, eerie sounds, and revolting odors.
Thank you, Scott, for the gold coin. I appreciate it, man. Another one for the safe.
That I detected was every kind of filth that's in the world.
dead bodies, urine, feces, everything was just rolled into one.
Thorpe RV.
It wanted to make you gag.
When I first moved in the house and became resident manager,
no, it wasn't the fact that it was just I think it was just bad timing. I think it was a personal call from the moderator that even they regretted after the fact, but it was just that 989 was being so smug about calling people racist for talking about the song La Bamba, but then completely all he was focused on was for some reason was big Latina asses, and the moderator just didn't like that hypocrisy, I think, and wanted to time him out, but didn't want to seem like choosing sides, so also timed out ATF.
Lump on the kitchen floor. Now, I didn't pay any attention to the lump, and I said, well, maybe it's just a water lump. I was standing in the kitchen one night. I guess it must have been about 10 o'clock. I was leaning up against the washing machine, and I was just standing there looking at the floor, and the lump actually moved right before my eyes. And that's when I knew something was wrong. I knew something was wrong.
Operations Manager Gary McCoy believes the source of the haunting lies in the basement, in part because his otherwise obedient dog Cleo recoils in fear when she approaches the basement door.
I want you to go check it out. Come on, let's go. Let's go, come on. Cleo is a dog that I've had since she was 6 weeks old. I could just about go tell her to go in the middle of the main street here and go to the yellow line and sit there, and she'll do it. But when it came to that basement, there is no getting her next to that basement. She will stand there and she will defy me to the utmost, and she will say, no, I'm not going down in there. She will never and has never gone in that basement.
What it is, I have no idea. But it's something is in that house. Something is in there to cause the unrest. You know, people don't rest in that house. You know, they don't. You come over here, it's quiet. Over there is always noisy. And it doesn't mean that it could be quiet. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. It's quiet, but within that quietness, there's no stillness.
To have a whole house empty, and we're in the business.
See, that's what you would call too quiet. That's why McHenry wants quiet, but not too much quiet.
Of housing women, homeless women, and children. The calls are coming left and right. I mean, they're out there very desperate, crying, but what can we do? What can we do? We have to close the house down.
In an effort to rid the house of the overbearing aura of evil, a Catholic priest from the Atlanta Archdiocese was asked to bless the house. But his visit only reinforced the fear that something beyond reason was in control here.
The priest came in, Carol, Gary, and myself, and the priest, we went in the house. The priest went through the whole house. He sprinkled holy water over the whole house. He never gave us a direct yes answer, but we could tell by the way that he was acting that he felt something. Something wasn't right.
Something's up.
He called the name Lucifer and started talking about what had happened. And as soon as he said the name Lucifer, this rumbling came from the basement.
There was a loud, thunderous rumble up under our feet, like the house was coming up off the hinges. At that point, I jumped up, I flew out the front door.
I says, I want y'all to pray in this house.
Thank God the stairs were facing the front door.
Because what I just saw was spiritual warfare.
But why?
Oh, there we go. We hear that a lot in the Boyd spiritual warfare
house. Why these people who were reaching out a hand of support and comfort? Sightings asked title examiner Christopher Cafaro to research the area's past for clues to the present haunting. He linked the house to a bloody Civil War battle.
There were 3 battles for the city of Atlanta. The third one took place in what is called the Battle of Ezra Church. Ezra Church was located approximately maybe a quarter mile, if that, from this house. So this house is sitting in the hot spot of a pretty substantial Civil War battle, where I would say about 5,000 Confederate troops and 600 federal troops died.
Sightings also asked psychic Peter James to conduct an on-site investigation in the Atlanta house. Without any knowledge of the area's past, he was able to confirm psychically the home's connection to a bloody confrontation.
What I sensed in here is
I get the impression of a man who wears some kind of a headpiece or a hat, and I see like a brim on the hat or something wide on his head, and I'm feeling that he stabbed someone, but he himself was murdered. You see? So it's like there's like a double whammy here.
Just a few minutes into the investigation, Reba fled in fear and could not...
I think in all 50 states you have to reveal if a double whammy happened at the property.
...be convinced to return.
My heart started beating. I thought I was going to pass out. It's not working for me. Letting them do it on their own. I've seen enough of what I want to see anyway. I know there's something to think of. You ain't got to walk me through it. I know. That's it.
While Reba waited outside, Peter led the remaining staff into the basement. This was the source of the haunting, he told them.
Okay, here, cold spot. Feel this. Come on, put your hand through here. Feel it, look, feel it.
Peter felt that the spirit was feeding on their collective fear. To make the haunting go away, the group would have to confront the supernatural force.
There are loving souls that need to occupy this house. Your presence is no longer welcome here. Be gone now.
After the session,
oh, of course.
the group members
asking the ghost to leave. Why didn't I think of that?
Were hopeful but somewhat skeptical until Cleo did something she'd never done before.
Oh, give me a break.
Where they're like, see, I mean, she's even this close.
Okay, here's what you don't see on the show, is that Sightings sends in Peter James. He goes into these places, scares the people. He gets them to sell the home at a very low rate, right? Because they've got to get out of this haunted house. And then they use the publicity from the show to drive up the price of the homes. Sightings is actually just a house flipping grift.
Whatever it was is on its way out or is already gone, because knowing the way she acted in the past and never even wanted to go near the door to the basement and having gone as far as she did gives me some type of comfort.
I have a great sense that this house will once again experience peace and peaceful living.
Although Peter James believes he has successfully purged the shelter of its evil spirits, many women who stayed there since our investigation continue to feel uneasy in the home. For that reason, the owners have decided to convert it to a men's shelter and transfer the women to a different location.
Next, Sightings viewers go on air and online to speak out on the alien autopsy film.
So I think there's probably covering up somewhere.
The Sightings online site continues to offer viewers a unique opportunity to download information and images and to dialogue with people nationwide.
Peter James would be like, I'm seeing somebody that's sticking their nose in other people's business.
On paranormal topics. Recently, we initiated our largest live chat forum ever. And not surprisingly, the one topic on everyone's mind was the Roswell autopsy film.
Oh, you got it all taken care of? That's good, Dave. It was eerie, though. I bet.
Fact or fiction? Paranormal breakthrough or elaborate hoax?
Here we go.
The Roswell autopsy film has generated a public debate unequaled since the original saucer report nearly 50 years ago. And after Sightings' original report on the film, where a majority of experts expressed disdain for the authenticity of the footage, viewer response was immediate and not altogether favorable.
The feeling of respect and integrity toward Sightings that my friends and I have held has been destroyed by your obvious cover-up and disinformation campaign concerning the alien autopsy.
Most viewers took advantage of Sightings' online site. In fact, in the weeks after the report, there was a 50% increase in email messages. The film is clearly 1947 vintage. The shots were not always filmed from the best angle because this was...
Well, if you want it on the Sightings episode, if you upload it, we're gonna watch one more episode.
Not a movie set, but an autopsy lab. You were totally slanted to it being a fake and made
Wow.
it sound like no expert believes it is
I
real.
hardly ever hear Sightings take the side of that it's a hoax. They almost always lean toward that it's real.
That just isn't true. Due to the overwhelming response,
Looks like the heathen's
Sightings
computer.
conducted an online survey and posed the question, do you believe the film of the Roswell autopsy is real? 74% of viewers responded yes.
Is the Roswell autopsy footage a
Oh,
hoax?
Michael
We're exploring
Corbin.
that question right now with Rob Morheim, segment producer with the TV magazine show Sightings.
We responded to viewer concern about our take on the autopsy film by initiating a live, unrehearsed open forum, on air and online simultaneously. Appearing on Michael Corbin's weekly network radio program, The Paranet Continuum, Sightings was also plugged into a chat session on America Online.
Did you want to believe?
Sightings was also
Wait a
plugged
minute, Dr. Beagle.
into a chat session on America Online.
Lord Beagle?
Did you want to believe that this was true?
Not necessarily. I like to think I have an open mind. I don't think there's been really enough evidence, so I think there's probably covering up somewhere.
The opportunity to dialogue about the Roswell autopsy film, as well as the controversy surrounding it, continues.
Uh-oh.
And Sightings will
There he
continue
was.
to bring you the considered opinions of experts on every side of the issue. Because the best...
If you guys don't remember it, that was kind of or if you were too young to have experienced it, the AOL, like, I don't remember, what did they call them? Grandstands or something like that? They would do, like, tons of people would do, like, live chats and shit, like, and there weren't, like, there would be a decent amount of people there, but not nearly as many as, like, you would think, because not as many people were online. But, like, the AOL, like, shit was awesome.
way to get to the truth of any issue is to explore the evidence in an open,
Yeah,
educated
Lord
forum.
Beagle.
While many Sightings viewers disagreed with our cautious approach about the Roswell autopsy film, it was your comments on the
What's up,
internet
Randy?
and in phone calls and letters that prompted us to expand the original investigation. We hope that you'll continue to communicate with us on any and all paranormal topics that you'd like to see on Sightings.
Oh, the chat rooms were great.
From Paramount Home Video, 3 special editions of Sightings.
Oh, awesome.
The UFO Report, The Ghost Report, and The Psychic Experience are $14.95 each. Suggested retail price wherever videos are sold, or by calling 1-800-555-9752.
Until next time, remember, no mystery is closed to an open mind. For Sightings, I'm Tim White.
Thank you, Henry Winkler. All right, let's watch one more. Oh, I gotta find the beginning of the episode.
With an expedition that searches for 3 days in family. On this edition of Sightings. Sightings returns to Colorado's Black Forest to help a terrified family resolve a frightening haunting.
Whoa! You see it?
Oh,
We're coming
boy.
through, right here.
When 3-year-old Sarah Skidmore disappeared for 3 days in the Arizona desert, her parents and police knew the only thing that could save her would be a miracle.
I believe my sister, I was her angel.
Oh, yeah.
Later, a Sightings investigation continues in Canada with an expedition that searches for debris from a crashed UFO.
Men at the base have told me that it was probably the most intense thing next to the Cuban Missile Crisis.
And has medical science gone too far in its attempt to farm body parts?
I did a series of Twitch streams about body parts being trafficked. We watched a bunch of documentaries and videos about it. Do I remember that? Yeah. Trans mice.
Welcome to Sightings. I'm Tim White. During a recent Sightings ghost investigation in Black Forest, Colorado, our team recorded bizarre noises, images, and thermal imaging that pointed to the presence of an ethereal form. Now, that form is making its presence known in more concrete and threatening ways. Sightings correspondent Carla Wool traveled to Black Forest and found a family in fear.
The sweet smell of pine, a gentle breeze, a beautiful log cabin in the woods. From the outside, there's no hint of the terror that's been experienced inside the Lee home in Black Forest, Colorado.
This footage is amazing.
What is it? I want to go away. It's okay.
Now, Steve Lee reports a bizarre physical manifestation of the...
We've seen, I think, multiple episodes about the crop circles, yeah. One was not too long ago.
haunting.
One morning, my head just started swelling up. That's when they took me to the hospital, and they did the CAT scans. And the doctor said there was no bruise there, no cut or nothing.
So far,
Dwight Yoakam.
Steve and Beth Lee's search for an explanation has cost them their life savings and their peace of mind. Our initial sightings investigation confirmed that the haunting is real. There were the anomalous sounds from Steve's
What do
police
you mean it confirmed that the haunting was real? How can you say that?
scanner. Haunting and their peace of mind. Our initial sightings investigation confirmed that the haunting is real.
No, it didn't. You didn't confirm anything. What are they talking about?
Anomalous sounds from Steve's police scanner. A camera fell over without explanation.
It just took a header right off the tripod and landed.
And there were a number of unusual equipment failures. It's fall now, a little more than 6 months since that first visit, and there's a change in the wind. But inside, I found there's been no change in the disturbing haunting activity.
Dancing stick figures.
How often are things happening in this house?
Carla Wall.
Every single night.
Every night.
Every single night.
And Steve and Beth
Every
can no
single
longer
night.
shelter their boys from the paranormal phenomena.
I have not ate.
Stephen,
have
what
not
kinds
slept.
of stuff, strange stuff, have you seen around your house?
Lights, shadows in my room. When I was watching TV, TV kept going on and off, and just strange things.
Why do you stay here with your kids and with these types of things happening?
Because we want it solved and we want to keep our house. Until you sit in our shoes, you won't understand.
Very, what's that? Very Chapel Roan coded.
That's the best way to explain it.
I've been through so much, I'm not going to move.
Steve believes that if the family moves, the entity, as captured in these photos, wins. He and Beth have spent more than 30...
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He's like, you think I'm going to let this ghost win? Hell no. Look at this awesome setup. Oh my gosh, look at all that. Amazing.
$30,000 on surveillance equipment and other high-tech devices, searching for an explanation.
Oh my
But when
God.
Sightings suggested an in-depth psychic investigation, the family, who said they would try anything,
Oh my
wanted
God,
to
those are
sleep
so
on it.
weird. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that, man. 1,500 joules, dude. That was amazing. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. That's like you're really donating twice, because there's like the jewels, but then also there's like the visual stimulation for my high brain. Thank you, Bob. I sincerely appreciate it, man. I really do. I really, really do.
The next morning, they agreed. Peter James is coming here tonight. What are you hoping he can do or tell you?
I'm a little bit more open-minded than he is as far as believing some things from the spiritual world, but I hope that what he can do is explain some things that are happening.
Peter James has been given no information.
I mean, it's tougher, I guess, if you had kids, but if you genuinely believe that it was a ghost, just stop being afraid of it. You know, I know it sounds simple, but I mean, that's the only way you could win. Or just tell it like that you've given up on life and it doesn't matter what it does to you. You're not going anywhere.
About what's transpired in the Lee home.
I would just tell it like, look, if you were really some kind of powerful entity, you'd be in a nicer house. So piss off.
As soon as he steps out of the car, Peter senses
boy.
why we've brought him here.
There's a lot of death around here.
I can sense that the source of the evil is coming from your wallet. I'll need you to empty that immediately. Purge yourself of that evil. Give it to me. I'll carry that burden.
There is a lot of activity here.
Inside, Steve keeps his distance as Peter begins his survey.
Who's here? Identify yourself.
Peter is immediately drawn upstairs to the master bedroom.
This is incredible
During our
shit.
previous sightings investigation, paranormal researchers identified this bedroom as one of 3 significant areas of haunting activity.
Right here. Ooh, feel it? Something just touched me there. Feel it?
I feel cold.
It's a cold
I
spot.
also feel it right here.
It's a cold spot. This is a cold spot.
And when Peter begins to feel the pull of an energy vortex, the Lees begin to listen.
He's like, listen, I don't believe in none of that ghost stuff, but when he started talking about an energy vortex, I knew it was time to get serious.
But it feels like someone has their arms around my legs right now. And I'm chilled to the bone right now.
Then Peter begins to feel an overpowering presence of something chemical or medicinal in the air. He believes this has a connection to the haunting. It's a psychic impression that catches
Kenny
Steve
Bolin.
completely by surprise.
There's a chemical smell. I smell something old, like...
You get goosebumps?
I get chills.
When Peter feels he's connected with the entity responsible for the haunting, he proposes a name.
I also get a name of Howard.
The Howard one, there's no, I mean, that's so personal between us, it's unreal. There's no possible way on God's earth you could have known that one.
Do you ever feel that Howard is trying to protect you?
Was Howard the bull?
Yes, very much so.
'Cause that's
that
what I
just
thought.
freaked you out, didn't it?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
You all right? Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Let's
Don't
take a
say
break.
anything.
Just be like, look, dude, I can't afford to move, so you can haunt, you can make the walls bleed or whatever, but like, I'm broke, homie. We're in this together.
Let's take a break. That's enough for me.
Very much so.
I just asked it if it could feed off the energy of trad girls.
Peter can't seem to take a break from the psychic impressions flooding his mind.
Was there anyone
Howard
around
the
here
ghost.
that was a pharmacist?
That's too much, isn't it?
Yes or no? Yes or no? Tell me.
Howard was very involved in that kind of stuff.
Beth, who is Howard?
I have a little adopted granddaddy here in town that I have guardianship of that we've
A little adopted granddaddy that she has guardianship over.
taken care of for like 10 years now or more. And his name is Howard. And he had a son that we did not know, but that he died in the 60s of a drug overdose. And his best friend's dad was a doctor and into pharmacist work. And they would steal prescriptions.
The son's name is Howard Jr., the Howard that Peter has felt so strongly in the Lee home. Peter returns to the
So this lady is managing the finances of Howard Sr., which has the ghost of Howard Jr. haunting her home.
bedroom to try to make contact.
Howard the Duck would be great.
There's that chemical smell again. And you know what? I believe that Howard is with me right now. He's very protective of them. And, but
Actually, no, wait, I smell it this time.
Smell it?
Yes, I do smell something.
Smell something?
The burning kind of chemical.
Howard is here.
Peter says that Howard has entered through the energy vortex.
Right in here, you're talking.
Right in there?
Yeah.
Peter believes it's a rip in the fabric of time that allows spirits to move from their plane into ours.
It's coming, they're coming through. Look, right here.
Peter feels that Howard Jr. wants to make contact with the Lees because of their connection to his father. Howard has unfinished business on Earth and feels that the Lees can help him communicate that he did not die of a drug overdose.
We're talking murder.
Yeah. And this is what I really feel why he's here and why he's trying to convey this message to me now.
To make the haunting stop, Peter says the Lees must appease Howard. And in fact...
Sorry, I was writing down a few key situations with this. I've got a song in mind for Howard.
They are finding many suspicious circumstances surrounding Howard's death.
Well, I guess I'm a little bit more open-minded about it now. I mean, there's things that there's no way he could have known. I mean, there's just no way on God's earth he could have known. I guess I have to believe now.
Before he left, Peter reassured the Lees that Howard is not a vindictive entity and that he may actually be protecting the family from other spirits who've squeezed through the vortex. The Lees hope that if they can put one spirit to rest, the others may soon follow.
The Lee family believes that Peter James has gotten closer to the source of the haunting activity than any other paranormal investigator. But both Peter and the Lees feel that his work there is not complete. We hope to bring you more from the house on a future broadcast.
Next, the miraculous link between a kidnapped girl.
Can you guys hear the car alarm?
And her little sister. Later, searching for the truth in the mysterious UFO crash at Shag Harbor.
Sick, evil freaks trying to ruin the stream.
To a Time magazine survey, more than 2 out of 3 Americans believe in angels. Among them, the Skidmore family of Mesa, Arizona. But simple statistics can't begin to measure the power that the Skidmore's belief in angels
Yeah, Leah
has had in
Thompson
their
was
lives.
hot.
It was a belief that
There was a
sort of
porno actress, too, that was kind of adjacent to her looks-wise.
tested on the day 3-year-old Sarah disappeared. In the fall of 1986, the desert quiet and tranquility of Mesa, Arizona seemed like nothing more than a mirage. The family town was rocked by the kidnapping of one of its own, 3-year-old Sarah Skidmore.
She was kind of a bouncy little kid, always into trouble and always jumping on, you know, always wanting hugs and kisses and jumping on you and mauling you, and she was always fun. The day that Sarah was kidnapped, everything changed. Everything was different. It's just unimaginable.
Man, it's still going.
On Tuesday, October 7th, 1986, Rhonda Skidmore received an urgent call from her 5-year-old son Robert's school.
I had to go to the school to help Robert. And so I took some things into the school and I left my little kids in the car.
Oh, there we go. Oh my God, it stopped, thank God.
Came back, the little boy in the car that had been babysitting, he said, a man took Sarah out of the car.
No, not Janine, no.
And he was serious. And I looked around and she was nowhere.
For the first 48 hours, state police conducted an exhaustive search for Sarah and her kidnapper. He was described by an eyewitness as a heavy-set bearded man wearing a baseball cap.
After Sarah disappeared, our other children were questioning, wondering where she was, asking if she was going to get some dinner. What is Sarah having for dinner?
Wow, I just got a notification from YouTube saying that Bethadone mentioned me in a video, and apparently she says, happy 2 a.m., hopelessly devoted to @MarkFusion. Great. At 418 views, too.
Dinner tonight. Is Sarah hungry? Where is Sarah going to sleep? She doesn't have her pajamas. Robert went to the front door and just screamed, Sarah, Sarah, trying to call her home.
Bethadone Clinic mentioned you 8 hours ago, 19 hours ago, 20 hours ago, 21 hours ago.
And he did that until his voice was totally spent.
After 2 days, the authorities narrowed their search. There were indications that Sarah's kidnapper may have retreated into the harsh desert backcountry, where there was no water and no shelter from the elements.
Brigitte Fonda, hell yeah,
occurred in
dude.
fall time, which in Arizona,
I
we
should
see
review that. I haven't seen that in a long time.
our greatest extremes, the extreme heat, the extreme cold.
Point of no return.
Children lose heat and become dehydrated very quickly, and it could even progress to a point of unconsciousness, what we call heat stroke, and a large percent of those patients could die.
On day 3, there was an unusually violent thunderstorm.
We actually had one news reporter say, how will you feel when they find her dead body?
Wow.
The next morning dawned clear and calm. The Skidmores were praying for a miracle. Zane Bingham did not hear the prayers, but he answered them.
I was hunting quail. I hit one. Upon retrieving it, walking up to where it was laying, I picked it up, looked across the wash to the left, where the rest of the covey had flown to. And upon doing so, I saw her in the wash looking at me. The closer I got to her, I noticed that she had been out there apparently for a while because she had lots of scratches all over her legs, her arms, and everything. She wasn't walking very good because she was barefooted. Her feet
That
were
wasn't a Bethadone update. That was an update on me.
tore up, and I asked her if she wanted me to carry her, and she replied yes. It amazed me that she wasn't crying or whining about nothing. No, not at all.
Bingham rushed Sarah to the nearest sheriff's station. She was immediately airlifted to Lutheran Hospital in Mesa.
Cody, this girl looked just like her. She had the short blonde haircut like she had. Facially looked almost identical to her.
Sarah had been abandoned in the desert by her kidnapper and had spent 3 days and nights in the desert without food or water.
They were very amazed that she survived that Thursday night because it was so cold and it was so windy. And they said that the exposure should have put her in a coma.
That was an update about me, ATF.
Because of her weakened condition, she should not have been able to survive it.
Doctors pronounced Sarah's recovery a miracle. A few days later,
Is that really
Sarah
a picture
herself
of her?
offered
That's
a
like a
mysterious
crazy
clue to
good
her
picture.
miraculous survival.
She didn't really react to us. She recognized us and
Bill Gates
just kind of stared at us. And finally, she said, "I saw Heather playing." And Heather's her 2-year-old younger sister. And that's all that she said really so far.
She said what? Anything about the man that?
She hasn't said anything other than, "I saw Heather playing."
Do you know what she meant by that?
I'm documenting it so that in the inevitable time when Bethadone finally snaps and, you know, throws me off the Mount Hope Bridge, people will know what happened.
We don't know.
Heather was 2 years old at the time and could not have been playing in the desert alone. The meaning of Sarah's mysterious vision became clear when she began revealing more details of her abduction and the ordeal that began when Sarah's kidnapper
That picture
abandoned
looked
her.
like it could be like a front page on like a major newspaper. Like it was like framed perfectly and everything. That was a really good picture.
Desert.
She mentioned that she was really, really hungry, really, really thirsty, and her feet hurt because of all the cactus thorns. And then she started talking about the little girl that she saw in the desert.
She had blonde hair and bluish eyes, and she was
No way!
hair,
Look! Oh my God! Look, guys! She's got a Toucan Sam stuffed animal. Amazing.
Bluish eyes, and she was in white clothes, and her hair was about shoulder length, a little longer, and she had a glow around
Toucan
her,
Sam.
and she wasn't standing on the ground. She was kind of up in the air. I felt like she was telling me I'd be all right and that I'd be okay.
Sarah was more than a mile from the nearest road, but somehow she found her way to safety by following the angelic vision.
She was walking and she saw the little spirit standing there, and it caused her to turn and walk a different direction. And when she walked the other direction, then that's when she found the hunter. And she felt like that helped her go the right way.
A year later, Rhonda Skidmore gave birth to her 5th child, a baby girl named Jessica. When Jessica was 3 years old, Sarah looked at her baby sister and suddenly realized that it was Jessica, not Heather, who had been her angel.
Wow.
Sarah just was watching Jessica, and she said, I feel like Jessica was the one that was
she wearing
in the
overalls?
desert when I needed the help.
I think it was me. I believe my sister, I was her angel.
The Skidmore's religious belief in preborn spirits is gaining a lot of attention among paranormal researchers. After her...
I'm sorry, preborn spirits? So like that the spirits go around on Earth before they're born? So maybe ghosts aren't dead people, they're people who are yet to be born? At least it's a kind of interesting concept.
Her own encounter with what she believed was a preborn spirit, Sarah Hines, educator, author, and mother of 9, began compiling similar case studies in her book, Coming from the Light.
Coming from the
I
light.
found
Whoa,
this-
did you see that lady?
The belief
Coming from the light.
Holy shit. Was she from Van Helsing?
I found this, the belief
I
in
saw a hat, with a wide brim.
a pre-mortal existence prevalent in a variety of cultures. When these unborn spirits or unborn souls make their appearance known, they're generally there to deliver a message. And the most prevalent message is that it's time for them to come to Earth.
During her research, Hines contacted Paul Perry, a best-selling author and journalist who is an
right next to the book on golf. Uses and meanings of pre-death. We need to look into pre-death. I feel like that's something we
expert
could
in
get
near-death
into.
experience.
Pre-death.
Hines and Perry compared case studies and found an astonishing link. Many survivors of the near-death experience report seeing not only their past, but also spirit beings waiting to be born.
Many people who see preborn...
Oh man, I love this guy when he was on Star Trek, and then he hosted that, what was the name of that show he hosted, Riker?
Spirits in the course of a near-death experience. When they come back, they describe these as being very comforting to see.
Sarah truly feels that her unborn sister, Jessica, was the guardian angel that protected her when she was in danger.
With the loving support of her family, 12-year-old Sarah Skidmore has healed well from her ordeal in the desert. But she still carries with her clear memories of her miraculous helper.
I still think Jessica is my angel because I think that she must love me, and I think I love her more just because of what has happened.
Sarah Skidmore's recovery in the Arizona desert is a reminder that miracles do occur.
Lalo commented on the Boyd Watch thing and said he wanted to know why I was using a picture of him and his girlfriend in my thumbnail.
It's also a reminder that
And then he confided in me that he would like to lose some weight. I don't know why he told me that.
only takes a moment for a child to disappear.
Next, the latest word on farming body parts. How voodoo is making neighborhoods safer.
I think the whole farming body parts is awesome. I wish we could watch the same documentaries that I watched on Twitch over here, but because of copyright we can't. But some of that, especially when you start looking into the global body part trade, it gets really nuts.
And later, getting beneath the surface of the Shag Harbor mystery.
Here are some of the stories Sightings is following in the news. The latest crime figures just out from the Federal Bureau of Investigation are encouraging. The rate and actual number of violent crimes are down. Factors contributing to the decrease include neighborhood
brutal.
watch programs, better policing, and, if you talk to one group in New Orleans, voodoo.
Which one was the seventh sign? Was that Demi Moore? What was Schwarzenegger did the sixth day or something like that.
In New Orleans, Louisiana, residents in Bywater, a neighborhood perched at the edge of the French Quarter, saw that their historic community was caught in a downward spiral of crime and drug abuse. But people here have not stood idly by. Instead, they have turned to an old New Orleans tradition.
No, they've been using drugs,
They've turned
apparently.
to voodoo.
It just seemed to me that we needed to go to a higher authority. It was not going to do us any good to just get angry and feel helpless.
Man, that
it was not going to
transition
do
was
us any
slick
good to
as
just
hell.
get
Look at
angry
this.
and feel helpless. Authority.
Perfect.
It was not going to do us any good to just get angry and feel helpless.
Sally Ann Glassman has been a student and practitioner of the voodoo religion for more than 20 years. She suggested to her neighbors that they hold a public ceremony to call forth what is known in voodoo as Ogun, the god of war. It was an effort to rid the neighborhood of evil forces, and more than 150 people attended the evening ceremony.
At first, a lot of people, especially the criminals out, were very, stay away from me, get away from me. I don't want you near me with that.
You didn't like...
They're scared of
I don't think Reindeer Games was a good movie, but I think it's like a B movie. I thought it was kind of fun, like if you didn't take it seriously, which I don't know. I thought it was kind of goofy, so I don't know if they expected people to take it seriously or not.
The police, they respect the Loas. They've grown up around it as part of the culture here.
all their
What's
life
this guy's name?
respect the Loas.
J. Shane Norris. Okay.
They've grown up around this.
Oh, that's it? His entire, that's it. Attended a ceremony once. Who?
Part of the culture here. All their lives, their grandmothers have talked about it, their moms and dads have talked about it. There's a healthy respect for it.
Since the first ceremony on August 17, 1995, Glassman has continued to lead weekly rituals to honor
my
Ogun
God.
and
What
other
the
spirits
fuck?
called Loas. Recent crime statistics seem to add credence to her claims that crime is down.
The crime rate has dropped.
Stop telling everybody about your blue crap. You've been riding that blue crap wave for far too long, buddy.
Remarkably from about 50 robberies a
We
month.
refuse to believe that you continue to eat food that causes your poop to turn blue and are unhappy about it.
I've heard to 6 to 8 robberies a month. It's a big difference.
While the New Orleans
Midnight
Police
oil,
Department will
yeah.
not comment on Bywater's unique approach to neighborhood watch, they can't argue with its apparent success.
At least, at the very least, everyone knows that everyone else was willing to hang on to hope and to take this sort of action or any sort of action and to work together. That's a bonding experience. That's what community is supposed to be about.
In Boston, Massachusetts, researchers are debating the medical merits and ethical consequences of the world's first bioengineered human body part.
Oh my God, remember this?
Grown on the back of a laboratory mouse.
When I first saw this, I was amazed, because here we are, we're growing human tissue on a mouse, and it's got the shape of an organ. I've never seen anything like this before.
The ear was constructed from biodegradable fibers and human cartilage cells donated by the intended recipient. It was then implanted under the skin of a hairless mouse,
Ugh.
where it took shape. The ear will be ready for human transplantation in 2 years.
We're going to start with simple things first. Replacing the skin of somebody who's been severely burned, fixing worn out knees. And after that, we're going to move on to more complex organs. And
What about the poop lettuce?
Start replacing those. We've got a
That's a whole fucking mess, dude. That whole scenario.
long way to go before we can...
Well, I mean literally, but also like trying to untangle everything around Taylor Farms.
farm a body.
For doctors and others concerned with medical ethics, the dilemma is not when will mass body part farming begin, but should it?
What are the limits to which we are going to go?
This is very upsetting to me.
To fix people. Do we want to put our resources into replacing organs, replacing pieces of people, or do we want to put our resources into keeping people healthy in the first place?
You could say that tiny Rachel, Nevada is the town that aliens built. Rachel has become the unofficial watering hole for amateur ufologists eager for a close encounter of any kind. And in September 1995, the Nevada State Assembly passed a bill to officially
She's being approached by strangers for drugs. That's fair.
redesignate Rachel's main drag, State Highway 375, as Nevada's extraterrestrial alien highway. It's an apt name, legislators argued, for a road that borders Area 51, the reputed site for many top-secret government spacecraft projects and the site of frequent UFO sightings. After a push from legislators and the State Tourism Office, the Nevada State Transportation Board has agreed to put up new extraterrestrial highway signs beginning in the spring of 1996. Governor Bob Miller has suggested that the signs be placed flat on the ground.
I don't really know. I mean, I find it to be very distasteful. I don't care for growing body parts on an animal. It just seems weird to me.
So that aliens can see them and know where to land.
I know, Randy. I don't know. I'm just completely disturbed by it.
We'll have more stories from the news next time. Now, here's what's coming up on Sightings.
Will Shag Harbor give up the secret of what crashed here nearly 30 years ago? Later, he's the father of the theory that revolutionized our view of a world he calls Gaia.
The Earth has properties like those of a living organism.
Recently, we brought you a report on the mysterious crash of a suspected UFO in Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia. Working with Canadian researcher Chris Stiles, Sightings has uncovered startling new government reports and has
Island
interviewed
of
key
Dr.
eyewitnesses. There's enough evidence here to warrant a new kind of sightings investigation, our first UFO salvage operation.
Whatever
The mice can listen in on people.
crashed into Shag Harbor nearly 30 years ago was seen by many eyewitnesses who have all come forward with strikingly similar descriptions of the incident.
An unusual object described as being 60 feet in diameter with 4 bright
Oh,
white
yeah,
lights
Ronald.
was seen to hover in the sky over the Shag Harbor area, tilt at a 45-degree angle, and then drop into the sky and hit the surface of the water. Eventually, the Coast Guard, Rescue Coordination Center, Navy, and RCAF were brought into the search effort for the object responsible.
Wait, did we already... Okay, but this is like a follow-up, right, to the Shag Harbor?
Chris Stiles has conducted an exhaustive search for documentation regarding the historic and mysterious crash.
Copy of Communion on his desk.
Of October 4th, 1967. He has found a significant government paper trail.
The Navy did have a strong expectation of...
Yeah, and the whole cloning thing, really, they had to get hush-hush after people realized that Steven Seagal had been cloned and replaced.
Finding artifacts. In the document, it actually names a scientific consultant who was on standby to receive debris.
I'll be right back.
The search conducted by the Navy concentrated in this area.
In October 1995, Sightings launched its first ever salvage operation under the direction of Chris Stiles. Our goal was to locate and retrieve any pieces of UFO wreckage large enough to have resisted the forceful tides and currents in Shag Harbor. By all accounts, the odds were stacked against us, but this operation would offer a unique opportunity to apply scientific methods to an incident rife with rumor and conjecture. If debris could be found, our team would find it.
We hope to take the searched areas beyond the former military search and perhaps check out some of these target detections.
This guy should be finishing the Game of Thrones books, not worried about this stuff.
And the impact site, which was actually outside of the search already conducted by the Navy.
28 years had passed since the crash at Shag Harbor. Time was not on our side, but state-of-the-art detection equipment unimagined in 1967 would improve our chances.
Prepare for tracking sequence at heading 159. Over.
There is 500 kilohertz digital side-scan sonar for seabed profiling and target detection. Aerial trajectory plotting.
Roger, survey 1 commencing sequence. Over.
A towed array GEM magnetometer for underwater metal detection.
Kelly
and
LeBrock.
a GPS satellite tracking system to pinpoint
Kelly
potential
LeBrock.
targets. Our intention was to scan and search 3 main areas of the ocean floor in the waters off Shag Harbor. These areas corresponded to eyewitness recollections and coordinates taken from a document reporting where the initial government search took place in 1967.
Sonar buoy drops out of nearby Canadian Forces Base Greenwood, and the magnetic anomaly detection grid at the nearby Shelburne Base, which was the coordination center for submarine detection in the Atlantic, led the authorities to believe that perhaps the largely intact object was still moving under the water.
But where it came to rest remains a mystery. Reports that wreckage was recovered from Shag Harbor on the night of the crash dictate that we begin our operation there.
Men at the base have told me that it was probably the most intense thing next to the Cuban Missile Crisis, which left the base on alert for 34 days.
The sightings investigation heads out to sea after months of onshore planning. The 3 targeted areas are scanned for potential pieces of wreckage, called targets, and each target is given a priority designation.
We were able to lay down an extensive grid pattern and pick up numerous target detections, which we gave an assessment value for high strangeness. A very simple system of 1, 2, or 3.
The initial search shows no high-priority targets in Area 1, the section of ocean shore closest to the Nova Scotia mainland. Rather than send divers down to investigate lower priority targets, the team agrees to move further out and begin a grid pattern search of Area 2.
Attention bridge, this is control. We have a strong target return.
Target detection is one thing. Going down and confirming what the target is much harder indeed. We were actually getting returns off some of the very large kelp beds that produced shadows and images that were misleading. The environment presents perhaps the main challenge in doing a thorough
I've lost
search.
the plot on this
Extreme
one, I have to
current
be
conditions
honest.
are almost
I don't know what's
constant.
happening.
What was the current like down there?
The current's building up.
Oh, this is the ship crash, right?
Worse. Conditions are deteriorating. It's my feeling that we should move on and perhaps check other targets.
But the divers press on, eliminating all of the potential targets in Area 2. The search then moves on to the deeper waters of Area 3. In Area 3, there are a number of high-priority targets worthy of investigation. The divers begin a systematic search, working into the night when a particularly promising spike hits on radar.
Control, we are approaching target area.
In the control room, the team watches the divers' progress.
This is very stressful.
Individual propulsion systems and high-powered underwater lights assist the divers who are fighting increasing tidal currents
Oh my
and
God.
a backwash of silt from the ocean floor. As the divers close in on their bearing, they realize that the ocean currents are
It is confusing, and this whole shit stresses me out, being like so far under the water, you can't see shit, and then you got the currents going.
Sonar readings.
I hate the cave diving shit too.
Giving a high-priority signal to nothing more than an unusual rock formation. The team is disappointed, but Chris Stiles is undaunted. He has eliminated 3 crash sites and can now move forward to another area where some government eyewitnesses have told him UFO debris may still be found.
I've spoken with several of the divers in the past and other support naval personnel that were involved in this, and early on they told me the story of the Shelburne connection, and it just keeps resurfacing.
Oh, I remember them, the Shelburne connection.
Resurfacing. It's a story that won't go away.
That story when Sightings continues.
Next, more from our Shag Harbor investigation. And later, the future of planet Earth.
There's no possibility of fighting back. There's only consequences.
We're ending on a stressful series.
Admittedly,
of segments.
Sightings is searching for an extraterrestrial needle in a haystack by diving beneath the waters of Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia. Even if the APRO document is a roadmap to a submerged UFO, we don't know what the craft is made out of. Would UFO debris rust, melt, or could it be that someone has simply beaten us to it?
When the sighting search and salvage operation failed to turn up UFO wreckage or debris in 3 significant areas off the coast of Shag Harbor, Chris Stiles did not give up his investigation. He feels there is simply too much information about the mysterious UFO crash of October 4th, 1967, to abandon his search for the truth. First, there was consistent testimony from credible eyewitnesses.
We see lights
Hell
moving through
yeah,
the
look
sky.
at this guy.
We thought to be an airplane at first. And there was 4 in sequence. 1 would come on, then 2, then 3, then 4.
They was reddish orange in color, and they seemed to be on about a 45-degree incline, and the lights seemed to be going in a downward motion.
This thing headed down, crashed on the water, and at that time all the lights went off, and one other light came
Hold
on.
on,
few minutes
a
later,
guy
and that's-
named Ronald Pond. Ronald Pond is telling us that something crashed into the water. Okay.
It's the light that was there when I arrived on the scene.
Royal Canadian Mounted Police Officer Ron Pond not only saw
Ron
the Shag
Pond.
Harbor UFO, he also interviewed eyewitnesses
That
at
sounds
the
like
scene.
a Sega game character from the 80s, Ron Pond.
There were witnesses coming from a variety of directions and in different locations, so there was no way that it was a conspiracy or any kind of an attempt to mislead anybody. It was definitely something that came down in the water.
In addition to credible eyewitnesses, Chris Stiles has uncovered a trail of documentation, leading him to conclude that the U.S. and Canadian governments knew about and monitored the Shag Harbor UFO.
The more we find, the more there is, you know. I mean, sources of even the paper trail in this have hardly dried up.
And there was this exclusive interview with a member of the Canadian military who had been debriefed as part of a Shag Harbor naval recovery operation.
I was told that
Oh,
it
this
had
guy
hit
again.
the water, crash landed, in trouble, and had actually moved underwater, and I think that
That was one of the more interesting points that I found of the whole story, because this thing was not only aerodynamic, but hydrodynamic also. It had the capacity to travel in two mediums.
According to this source, the UFO continued traveling underwater and finally came to rest several miles from the impact site.
Near where the UFO had moved, there was a high top-secret listening post for submarine detection.
This claim of a second location of an unidentified flying object resting on the bottom, somewhere off Government Point in the water, is very interesting because this
He doesn't want people to know he believes in this stuff.
location was the spot where Canadian Forces Station Shelburne was located.
It is quite possible that there is something laying down there, somewhere between the crash site to the site that has moved. It's hard to move that amount of physical energy around and not leave some
Ryan
sort of a trace.
Seacrest?
Because Sightings' initial scientific search of Shag Harbor failed to turn up any debris, Stiles is now exploring the possibility that the crash site was 25 miles to the north, near Shelburne. It was here that a second Navy dive reportedly took place on the night of the crash.
When I spoke to the divers and support personnel early on, they told me that
Just going to keep going from site, just going to keep it going as long as possible.
at the Shelburne end of the operation, where they sat over this craft for a week, that it was on the bottom and that there was still activity in it. Furthermore, there was a second craft there which was lending assistance. They believed that this was a vehicle of extraterrestrial origin. And these men had lengthy experience.
Their commanding officer would debrief them and tell them not to open their mouth. The story would not be discussed again. I can only imagine that he would assign some people to ensure that those people do keep quiet.
Although he has uncovered a mountain of documentation confirming civilian sightings of the Shag Harbor UFO, Stiles has found almost nothing on paper to confirm military operations in Shelburne or Government Point.
I've looked at some unique strategies and tried to be creative. For example, off Government Point, there's an area called McNutt Island, which has a manned lighthouse.
McNutt Island,
I attempted
okay.
to obtain the lighthouse logs, thinking that perhaps any naval operation that kept ships in the area for 7 days would show in the lightkeeper's records. These were not forthcoming. Attempts with the Coast Guard to get these seemed to indicate that these records were lost. It seems that I could get earlier records and those after, but October's were missing.
It is Stiles' belief that considerable work remains to be done in the Shag Harbor UFO investigation. Raw data needs to be
John
analyzed
Hammond?
further, and uncharted target sites offshore must be scanned.
Man.
The elimination of 3 potential impact sites during the first sighting salvage operation is only the first step to what may be a very long road.
Shag Harbor is still a mystery. However, I feel that this case will reveal a lot about the nature of the UFO phenomena and may have some answers that even challenge our established belief systems.
What about David Harbour?
It's only been since late 1994 that the Canadian military has allowed civilian operations in the waters off Government Point.
Island.
Chris Stiles now plans to focus future operations in the area near Shelburne, Nova Scotia.
Next. Did you guys see those news trads?
The area near Shelburne, Nova Scotia.
Next, what can we learn from James Lovelock's
Very Dorunda coded
Gaia theory?
The man and woman in the street understand Gaia far better than my colleagues do.
On past programs, we've introduced you to a number of people who support the Gaia theory, that the Earth is an organism with its own intelligence. Now, Sightings correspondent Carla Wohl interviews the father.
Where's it in search of? I still need to check it in the copyright. What's up, Gray Man Media?
Of the Gaia theory, James Lovelock.
It's been more than 20 years since he first introduced his groundbreaking Gaia hypothesis. Today, inventor-scientist
Wow,
James
look at this
Lovelock
guy living the fucking life.
and his wife Sandy live and work on a 35-acre estate in the Cornish Highlands, which he's preserving as a wildlife habitat. How did you come up with the Gaia theory?
Well, I was very fortunate in 1961. I got a letter from the Director of Spaceflight Operations of NASA. They wanted to use my gadgets, these sensitive devices, for analyzing the lunar soil to see if it would be safe for astronauts to go there. But it wasn't long before I became interested in the next big step, which was to go to Mars. And the question, how do you find if there's life there?
Lovelock determined that Mars was almost certainly lifeless because its atmospheric composition was static, in contrast to Earth's
Mars
composite
has
parts,
lost its
which
spark.
are highly volatile.
So I then thought, well, if it's an atmosphere like that, highly unstable, something must be keeping it constant, because it couldn't stay constant on its own. And that set me thinking about a regulating system at the Earth's surface, which presumably was life itself. And then this idea of Gaia was born in my mind.
Since then, Lovelock's Gaia theory has been embraced and embellished on by scientists, environmentalists, and New Age philosophers.
Sounds about right, Gray Man Media, but I don't know for sure if their interpretation of it is the same as that.
Believe Gaia is a sentient being.
There you go.
Capacity for intelligence, emotion, even vengeance.
I don't really now regard the Earth as a living organism. I think in the early days of Gaia, we used the term the Earth is alive metaphorically. What we meant was that the Earth has properties like those of a living organism. It's able to regulate its temperature, and it's able to regulate its chemistry. And that was all we meant by it.
My thoughts on 6G, what is there to say about it? I think we all seen the articles about it, the surveillance aspect of it, but...
What do you think of the theories that are now coming out? People call it Gaia's revenge, that the Earth is fighting back with diseases like
7G.
AIDS and Ebola and getting rid of the human parasite.
Oh, I don't like it one bit. Gaia is in no way sentient. Not at all.
Remember when people thought that when they turned on the 5G network, like half the population of the world would just drop dead because of some microchip or something?
There's no possibility of fighting back. There's only consequences.
While he does not regard the Earth as an angry, vengeful planet, the father of the Gaia theory is deeply concerned by humankind's apparent disregard for the delicate balance between our planet and her life-sustaining atmosphere. What is the greatest danger to us right now?
4G was enough.
If you're talking about human dangers, so we're now talking in terms of hundreds of years, not millions or billions of years, there's a distinct possibility that a large chunk of ice, which is supported above the water by a ridge in Antarctica, it's called the West Antarctic Ice Sheet, may slip off into the ocean. It did so 120,000 years ago during another interglacial, and if we go on warming the Earth up by adding CO2 and things, it may well slip off again. When it does, it's estimated there will be a maximum rise of sea level of about 15 feet. But even if only a part of it drops off, and there's only a rise of 5 feet of sea level, this will be enough to take out many of the major cities around the world. London would certainly go. New York would be gravely under threat. Houston would probably go. Miami. All sorts of cities.
Is there anything that we can do to slow that process, or is it inevitable?
I honestly don't think there's much we can do to slow it. I think it would be too difficult to get all of the nations of the world together to say we're going to stop burning fossil fuels. And we'll just have to hope that the cooling off towards the next ice age offsets the global warming due to the CO2 increase. But it's not a very hopeful thought.
But Lovelock does find hope in the fact that the average person's environmental awareness is much greater now than it was when he first proposed the Gaia theory nearly 25 years ago.
I've always found that the man and woman in the street understand Gaia far better than my colleagues do. The rules are quite simple. If you live well with the environment and improve it, you improve the chances for your progeny. And that means, according to Darwin, your species will survive and flourish. But if you do things that are bad for the environment, your species is doomed.
The overriding message in Lovelock's work is that Gaia is tough, but not indestructible. Gaia can heal, if we can just stop making her sicker.
If you've had a paranormal experience, please write to us at Sightings. Sightings can also be contacted at America Online at keyword Sightings. At the Sightings Forum, download images, sounds, and QuickTime clips. Also,
download sounds and videos from the Sally House.
Join us daily in our chat room, live on AOL.
Until next time, remember, no mystery is closed to an open mind.
Thank you, Henry
For
Winkler.
Sightings, I'm Tim White.
Next on Sci-Fi, Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows. All right, I gotta go. I will be back in an hour-ish for Intoxicated Women Causing Disturbances, body cam reviews. Thank you for watching Sightings with me. Sorry I got it messed up at the beginning, but to be honest, I really like the train segment, so I don't hate that we watched it again. But thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the crazy, generous memberships and those mind altering, whatever those little animations are. Thank you, though. I do appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you soon.